Hello and welcome back to the Live Reality Game Podcast. My name is Steven Stewart, and I'm excited today for more Surviving Reelfoot First Fire coverage. And join me today to talk all about his game, we have Colby. Colby, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Doing pretty good. Yeah.
So we've actually, of all the people in this cast, you and I have actually, one of the few people I've actually played a game with. We played Survivor Los Angeles last year, a one-day blitz. You and your mom, me and my brother. You are a Survivor Maryland alum, and it sounds like future host.
Yeah. So I still go to the school. I'm going to be a junior, but this upcoming semester I'm going to be the host of Survivor Maryland, which is awesome. I'm really excited for it. But it's been a lot, like the last couple of weeks, like from doing a bunch of interviews to choose the exec board to like building out from like just me and my co-host, and then like getting applicants and like getting worried about having to extend the deadline a bit. And now just the last week and a half I've just been doing a lot of interviews to cast, and I'm so excited for it. But
I guess one Survivor Maryland question, then we'll move on to Reelfoot. Are you in charge of editing the season because you're the host? Is that how it works now?
Yeah. So editing the season will fall on me. It's extremely backlogged. Like I think they just posted season 8 on YouTube last year, and last semester was season 24. So a couple of the seasons in there are lost to time, but I know that there are a couple seasons just like being edited and ready to go. I'm gonna try to stay on top of it, but I if it happens to be lost to time as well, I don't want that to be the case. But there's not an extreme amount of like as much pressure, I guess.
Well, my suggestion, podcasting, it helps as a fun way to wrap up the season, give more longevity, or at least that is the goal here today. So I want to kind of talk about your road to Reelfoot. How did you? I guess we have to start Survivor Maryland because that was your first game ever. Did you come to Survivor? Did you go to the University of Maryland knowing there was a Survivor game there, or was that something you discovered once you were on campus?
So when I went to college, I had no idea that Survivor Maryland existed. I had no idea that any collegiate Survivor was a thing. Walking into the dining hall one day, and I just see like a table set up, boom, big Survivor logo, and I walk up and I'm like, wow, this is my biggest interest and passion of all time. Like, what is this table about? And they explained the gist of it. They explained it's a semester-long game. They explained this whole thing, and I'm so excited about this. I like rush home and I like instantly film my application video and stuff to play, but I still didn't quite understand it. I didn't understand the backlog. I didn't really understand anything about it yet, like until I was playing. Like we get there the first day and they're like, oh, like we're bringing back some people from previous seasons. And I'm like, oh, like I whispered to whoever's next to me, I'm like, okay, we can just watch their seasons and see how they play. This was so cool. I didn't know that like it was backlogged like almost a decade. So I had no idea that I was at campus. That was just pure luck that I even went to the dining hall at that time. I almost didn't, and I can't even imagine my life if I didn't, because I discovered everything from it.
So you play Survivor Maryland. We will see your season in anywhere between one to 10 years. So how do you learn about the LRG community as a whole from there?
Okay, so when they first posted my tribe on the Survivor Maryland Instagram, I got followed by LRG casting on Instagram, Melanie. I didn't know her then. I didn't like have any idea who she was. I got followed by this account. I think this is pretty cool. So I follow them back and I see all the story posts. I see whatever. And I didn't really like apply to many of them because I think, oh, there's no way I could like travel across the country and play games, and like, I'm just in college, whatever. And then I see one time, I just see there was Rock Creek in DC, so I think that's pretty close. So I applied for that and I was able to, I think I did that one first. But I see Survivor LA, Blood vs. Water, apply, and my mom is sitting 2 rooms away from me, and I think this would be cool. So I start filling it out, just kind of joking, seeing what the like, just kind of typing in answers and stuff, and then I'm like, yo, mom, like I saw this like this thing. It's a Blood vs. Water like full day like Survivor game. Like, wouldn't that be like pretty cool? Like, I just kind of signed us up for it. You got to fill it out too. So she's like, oh, okay, I'll fill it out. Where is it? I'm like, Los Angeles, and she's like, okay, cool. And so I think, oh wow, so that worked. I guess maybe we are gonna travel. We find out we get cast, and I'm like, okay, seriously, mom, it's a lot of money to fly there. It's a big trip. And she's like, no, like this sounds really cool. I really want to experience this. Let's fly there. Let's make a whole trip out of it. Let's explore Los Angeles. When are we ever going to have this opportunity again? And so that was kind of how I got into the world. Sorry, I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but
Well, I mean, I just want to mention my parents would never. So I'm insanely jealous. Your mom's like, "Yep, let's do this." Because my parents look at me and say, "You have strange hobbies." I'm like, "I know."
yeah, like, oh, my mom is awesome. Like, she's incredible. We the Bryce and Wen raffle for the exclusive season 48 CBS premiere. I enter it, I just comment on. It's just one of those comment to enter things, and then I'm sitting in my like math lecture, and I'm in the front row, and this teacher's super like, if she sees a phone, it's a 200-person lecture. She will stop talking and stare at you until you put your phone away. And I feel a buzz in my pocket, and I get a text that goes like from Bryce Wen Presents like account, like, hey, you won the raffle. You have 20 minutes to accept. I think, oh my gosh, my teacher's looking at me. I'm trying to like think like, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? So I text my mom, hey, can we drive to New York tomorrow? Like, can you call out of work and can we drive to New York tomorrow to watch this thing? And she's just like, of course, yeah, let's do it.
Oh my
so
gosh.
she moves her clients, because she's a massage therapist. She moves her clients to like just scatters them over the next week, and then literally it was a day's notice. She comes and picks me up, and we drive to New York like 16 hours later. And so she's awesome, and so like into Survivor too. I mean, she named me after a player of the show. So yeah, I'd love going on these just random Survivor adventures with her. Yeah.
So when do you see Reelfoot and know like this is the game I want to apply to?
Okay, so I had been following Reelfoot since like I'd known Reelfoot was one of the first ones that I had found out about like when discovering LRGs. And I see it's the closest thing to Real Survivor. It's like a week long, it's whatever. And so I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting for applications to drop. And the day they drop, I apply and I set up my application, whatever. And I never hear back. And I think that's so weird. Like, they never even like reached out about maybe getting like an interview or something. Like, I applied right away. I was waiting for it to drop. And I mentioned to the old host of Survivor, Madeline, I mentioned to her that I applied for Reelfoot, and she's like, oh, I'm with someone who's on production for that right now. I forget who it was. So she asked whoever it was, like, do you have an application from this Colby guy? And they're like, no, we don't have it on our end. And so I go back to the application, I reopen it, and my whole application's still there, but it was just never submitted. Like, the submit button was still lit up, whatever. And so I think, oh my gosh, they've been talking about how limited interviews for this is. Like, oh my gosh, I refilmed my tape. Like, and at the end of it, I'm just like, I know this is so late. I will show you I deserve to be on this. Please give me an interview. Please just give me a chance. And so then after I submit it, like a day or two later, I get an email, and then they want to offer me an interview. And like, they have like very limited spots because it's super, super, super late. Like, this was like probably over a month after or maybe just weeks at least after like the application's open at this point. And then they give me like a couple, like 2 times to choose, or like a couple days to choose from. So I'm just like, all right, just give me the first one that works for you. I will make it work. I will change around everything in my life to get an interview. if this time works. But so yeah. So then I applied for it, and then yeah, did the interview, whatever.
So you get cast for Reelfoot. How do you prepare for the season? What do you do?
They send out lots of stuff on how to prepare. A lot of it was just kind of like ignoring that it was going to be a really stressful thing until I kind of had to deal with it. Like they're sending Pete, he's sending stuff. He's like, these are the types of poisonous snakes you're going to have to sleep with. And here's all these spiders that'll kill you if they get within 10 feet of you. And
how many garlic pills did you eat?
So I order the garlic pills leading up to Reelfoot, and they don't show up for some reason. And then they showed up like a week late, and it's like 4 days until Reelfoot. And I finally get them, and I message my chat, and I'm like, I just got my garlic pills. Am I gonna die to bugs and stuff? And then Pete's like, just triple up for a couple days, and you'll be fine. And like I'm like, that is some serious medical advice. And then I'm looking them up and stuff, and online it's like, yeah, they don't actually do anything. They might make you smell bad. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I took them for like 2 days, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I will bring bug spray. I didn't know I was allowed to bring bug spray. I forgot about that. I thought because they told us to have garlic pills, we weren't allowed to bring it. So when I found out that we could, I stopped taking them.
I mean, I'm with you as a garlic pill skeptic. My favorite thing about garlic pills is crush them as rice flavoring.
Yeah, so we were gonna do that, except we won a spice rack in like the second challenge or third challenge, so we didn't have a need to do that. But we were prepared to.
So I'm curious because I think you have such a unique experience coming into Reelfoot, because while Surviving Reelfoot's one of the longest games at 8 days, you've done everything from 1-day games to the 90-day games, right? You've seen like a full range of experience. And so I'm curious, coming into Reelfoot, what was your strategy?
So my first time playing Survivor Maryland was my first experience playing any type of game. It was way more successful than I thought it was going to be. Like went down to a tribe of 2 because I lost every challenge, but found 3 idols, played 3 idols successfully, like got 4th. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to say that. Whatever. It was super successful, and I had a great time with it. And that gave me this false expectation that because I go straight from that and I play Rock Creek, and it's a 1-day game, and I get 5th place, and I got Sareed out. Everyone had an idol kind of, and I get like screwed out of that one. Not screwed out. I could have played differently, but I think that so I make it like really close to the end in both of these games, and then I go into the 1-day game in Survivor LA with my mom, and like I think it was going pretty well. We have a pretty locked in 4 at the final 9. Miscommunications led to a 2-2, 1-1-1-1-1-1 vote, and we lose one of our 4. So going into the 8, we had 3, and then I get picked off, or maybe that was the final 10. I don't know. Whatever. I think I got.
I don't recall either. I mean, if I can find, if you
I got 9.
Talking, I'll find the voting chart.
But so I still have this like kind of expectation and confidence in myself that if I play a game, I'm gonna make the end game, because I haven't not done that at this point in games. So I don't know what to expect with a week-long game, because it's really different than Survivor Maryland. That's Survivor Maryland, like, you're playing the game, but you're also dealing with your classes, you're hanging out with your friends, you're working on homework, you have all these other things. But I know that going into Reelfoot, I'm going to be out there, and that's going to be the only thing that I have to do is think about this game and play this game. I have nothing else. The world outside doesn't exist. I don't have my phone or anything. And I know that that's going to kill me, because I need to always be doing something or I lose my mind, which ties into the codex, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Update. It was the merged vote, final 10. You have immunity. It's a 2-1-1-1-1 vote with 3 votes negated on Jalen, 1 vote negated on Chris. And so Foster goes out with 2 votes. Yes, and wild times.
The way that all played out was so stupid, because Foster goes to vote, his brother goes to vote. I'm blanking on his name.
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot. And so Foster gives a vote, and we say, this is what the plan is. But then I hear whispers. So we whisper to Elliot, like, this is what the plan is. And then someone said my mom's name. And so I whispered to my mom, like, oh, what was the older gentleman's name? I forget. But
Bill?
yes, Bill. I'm like, Bill just said your name. So, or no. Bill's daughter. I don't know. Bill just said your name. So we have to vote him. We have to vote him. We have to vote him. Vote Bill, vote Bill, vote Bill, vote Bill. And so then I go and I vote Bill. And then my mom goes up and votes Aubrey. And then we lose. So we all vote a different person. And then somehow my mom and I are the only two people that like don't get a vote, I'm pretty sure. Because I was immune and she just didn't get one somehow. I don't know what happened with the rest of the tribe, but if we had just communicated our tight four that was not going to break from each other, like then we would have like, man, I don't even know. But whatever. That I'm getting sidetracked. What are we talking about?
Okay, so back to Reelfoot, though, like I do wish, like, yep, we never did any sort of wrap up for Survivor Los Angeles. Maybe we would do a 1-year retrospective as we hear all the madness of a 1-day game. But you were mentioning how for Reelfoot you're concerned about boredom, right? You're concerned about not having enough.
Yeah, to do. I'm worried I'm going to be bored out there.
So coming in the game, so did you have a prepared strategy coming to the game, or you're just like, hey, whatever I've been doing, it's been working. I just want to keep doing it.
My strategy is adaptability. I'm not going to know who's on my mat when it starts. I'm not going to know how they react with each other. I'm not going to know anything about how the game is going to go until I'm there. So I don't want to plan to go in with a certain strategy. The only thing that has worked out for me is in Rock Creek, I'm playing with people that were over double my age. And I'm able to jump from that, like, oh, like I'm sprinting to the voting area, like, oh, like I'm asking stupid questions, I'm being this silly kid, I'm not taken serious, to flip like a switch and be able to be like, okay, now I'm serious, now I'm having these game conversations. And that's something I utilized so much in previous games. Like I was like one of the only freshmen in Survivor Maryland when I played it, and almost all senior season I'm kind of playing, like I'm doing that same card. That's kind of the only strategy I have, is just to be able to like bounce around and adapt to how I need to be in that exact moment.
It does feel like we should talk a little about your philosophy and advantages, because I feel like you talk about your first game of Maryland. You found and played 3 idols when you needed them. I know in our game on the Survivor Los Angeles, you really wanted to find our opening tribe's idol. Talk about your philosophy and how advantages factor into your game.
I have learned significantly that I just need to let it be, because Rock Creek, I didn't find one. I saw the person find it, and I thought, you know what, whatever, that'll be a thing. And it worked out well. I didn't end up getting idled out. I just have to accept that I might, I guess, and not try to be in control of it. I remember in the cast evaluation, you said something about, we're going to the bathroom, but I want to sprint back to find an idol.
Yeah.
I have a bit of remembering it slightly differently, of just not wanting to be away from the main group so long, but there was also
that's a good point, but fair.
But there was a big part of, I need to go find the idol, and I was very adamantly trying to find it, but it's just like, I realized that I just need to take a step back and think that's not the most important thing. I think it just kind of got stained in my mind from my first time in Survivor Maryland, that I might always need to have just like something in my pocket, just if everything's going wrong, I have one more outlet. Whereas like, I honestly prefer not having one. I realized this past semester playing in Survivor Maryland All-Stars that it's so much less stressful not having anything, when you don't have to worry about, do I play it, whatever. But I don't know. My philosophy was that if there's something there, like I want it. And I was pissed about the beads.
We'll talk a lot about those, don't worry.
I know we will. I got some stuff to say about these beads.
So you arrive in Tennessee. Who did you carpool with from the airport, and who were you in the lockdown room with before the game began?
So, I get picked up. Okay, so the night before, I'm gonna go on a little tangent before I get to this, because it relates to it. My flight to Tennessee gets grounded for 2 hours. I'm sitting on the plane for 2 hours because there's this storm. we're on the runway, and then they take us back to the boarding area, and we get off, and we're sitting there, and basically we're there for like 3 more hours, and the pilot, he has to go, and he's like, so as he's walking away, I'm like, wait, sir, what are the odds that I'm freaking out? I'm like actually frantic. I'm like contacting Reelfoot and stuff, saying I don't know what's going on. I'm like, sir, what are the odds that we get to Tennessee tonight? Because I need to be in Tennessee tonight. I need to be there. I'm calling I'm trying to do everything I can. Like maybe I'm going to drive there. Maybe I'm going to rent a car and drive like 9 hours tonight. And he's like, well, to be honest, maybe 50-50, but that's really generous. You probably won't get there. If a pilot shows up, you'll get there. If one doesn't, you won't. And he says that, and he leaves, and I'm just there stewing in this just emotion of him. I'm not going to get to do this thing. This is so important that I get here. And then a pilot shows up, and we go there. It's fine. Biggest relief ever. We still had to wait on the plane for a while. And I get to my hotel at like 3:30 in the morning, and I have to wake up at 6 to be picked up. And I wake up on time, I shower, whatever. I know it's going to be my last shower for a long time. I go down to the eating area, like the whatever little continental breakfast. I grab some muffins, I grab some cereal, and then I get the text from Arir, oh, I'm here. What? Like so I thought I had another like 40 minutes when he texted like 20 minutes, and then he texted, I'm here, like 10 minutes later. And I think, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten. I haven't had a meal. So I literally I watched this family of like people just watch in terror as I just chug my bowl of cereal, grab like 6 I shove like 3 oranges into my pocket. I'm like, I don't know, like this is gonna be my last meal. I'm freaking out. And I rush into the car, like I sprint out there. I got all my stuff with me, and they're in no rush. They're like, oh, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, sorry. I just had a nightmarish 90 seconds because I saw you pull up here and text here, and I had to lie and say, okay, I'm coming down now, as I'm shoving tangerines like into my like pockets. And so then I'm in the car with Jay West, and we don't make the connection at first, but he's asking, oh, have you done anything Survivor related before? And I go, I just went to the 48 premiere. And he turns around and he looks at me, and hey, yeah. He turns around and he looks at me, and we just like lock eyes, and he's like, I was there. And then we make this connection that Jay West and I talked waiting to get a picture with Sandra Diaz-Twine for 10, 15 minutes, like at the premiere. So we know each other. And we're like, all right, let's keep this on the DL, whatever. Let's keep this kind of like under wraps for a bit. But this is so cool that we just happened to.
Jay West is letting you know he was sizing you up in that moment.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, I was sizing him up, But yeah, we think this is pretty cool. Like this is a little connection that we have already. Whenever we pick up the next person, let's just maybe not mention it. And the next person we pick up is Allison. And, we're talking a bit. Like, we're really not supposed to talk at all in the car. You can't say anything about specifics. Who are you? Whatever. So we're not really getting into specifics. We're not even supposed to say our names. But, like, we kind of we kind of knew each other's names. I forgot Allison's right away. But I knew Jay West. I knew him as Jordan. That's how I met him as. I didn't know him as Jay West. So when we eventually got on Tribes and I called him Jordan, I was like, oh, shoot, whoops. Like, he didn't introduce himself as that. But so we drive, whatever. I think maybe if we're all in the same tribe, this could be cool. We shared a car together. We get into our isolation rooms. I'm with Jess and Trav, and we're not allowed to directly talk to each other. But, I'm trying to talk to Trinica, who is in the room with us, kind of monitoring us in a way that seems like I'm a friendly person that Jess and Trav will want to work with if we're on a team, whatever. Trav was not very talkative in the room. He looked like he was trying to zone in completely. Jess was just kind of giggly and laughing at everything. The room's freezing. I can literally see my own breath. And, I'm about to part ways with my phone. I'm trying to see what can I convince them to let me sneak in. I'm like, can I bring my Nintendo Switch out there perchance? And they're like, absolutely not. But the main thing I was trying to get them to allow me to bring was a letter from my girlfriend that was sprayed in her perfume and stuff. It smelled like her. I really wanted to take it out there with me, but they wouldn't let me. They almost did, but they didn't. But yeah, so that honestly, no connections that I guess I could have had before the game really ended up mattering a whole lot, other than I guess Jay West kind of accidentally bombing himself out of the game as a result of us knowing each other. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I keep going on tangent.
You find out you're on the Orange Tribe, the Inada tribe, and so when you're looking at this cast as a whole, you kind of mentioned that you had encountered Jay West in the past. Was there anyone else you saw that you recognized?
No, I didn't recognize anyone else. I don't think so, at least. Yeah, I didn't see anyone that I knew at all, other than Jay West. No.
So, looking at your tribe, Jay West and Allison are both in your tribe. Jessica is as well. What was your initial impression of this group of people?
So I guess maybe I had the potentially false assumption that, oh yeah, our car is all in the same tribe. Like we're gonna hit the camp and be like, no one needs to know this. We're gonna work together so tightly. We're gonna be this trio. Not that I thought it'd be that strong, but I see they're on my tribe and I think, okay, that's good. That's an advantage that they're not on the other tribe. I don't know how much that'll factor in, but I think this is a good starting point. And I see Jess, and I think that's cool too.
You have one of the longest opening challenges that Reelfoot has done for your opening marooning challenge. How was this challenge for you? How much mayo did you eat?
I ate 0 mayo to start it off. I was maybe acting like I was eating some mayo, but I wasn't. So it starts off and I think, how fast do I want to sprint out of the gate and like be this physical competitor right off the rip? Is that what I want to do? And it is what I did. I sprinted out, and I wanted to just be a team player, offer if I could carry anything for anyone else, offer like the people that were running behind, kind of stay back with them so they felt like, oh my gosh, it's not on me, which is like Deb, like I kept trying to like drop back and like talk to her, make sure that she was okay in the back, at least in the final stretches. At first, I'm like, I just need to get to the table first. And we start, 40 half-liter bottles of water in front of us. We have 20 liters of water to drink, and then we have to run another like 2 miles. Like, what is wrong with these people? And a jar of mayo. There's a lot of stuff that I could eat and I wouldn't have a problem with, and I can eat mayo normally. But if I'm just taking mayo by the scoop, it's just gonna be awful. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to put food in my stomach that's gonna upset me on day one. Because pooping in the woods, like, yeah, I'll do it if I have to, but I'm not trying to force my own hand with that. Then they cut the waters in half. The mayo wasn't actually pudding. I thought maybe it's pudding and it's a joke. It wasn't. I managed to not have any mayo because Deb's like, I got it. I'm going to consume this entire jar of literal mayonnaise. And you know what? Go ahead. Yeah, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to help you. The rest of the challenge went pretty standardly. There's a bit of ambiguity in the one where we had to get everyone through the thing because we were told that once you were through, like, you couldn't help them at all or something. Like, we were told something that the other tribe came and started doing and it was allowed. And it did make a bit of, like, we lost a couple minutes trying to work around it. And then we found out that we were allowed to help from, like, being through and stuff. So that kind of sunk a little bit there, but it wouldn't have made a difference. We get to the puzzle. And my experience of puzzles and Reelfoot is complicated because if there's a big challenge and I want to be on the physical end of it and like show that, then I can't say, hey, put me on the puzzle. But I love puzzles. I think I'm pretty good at them. I'll talk more about that later.
This is my philosophy in Survivor games too. Is I love puzzles. I'm never volunteering either, and it breaks my heart.
I would love to volunteer for a puzzle, but we had these physical things that I had to do on every challenge because, like, I'm one of I was one of like the bigger guys, I guess. Actually, that's not true. Andrew is a unit. Chad, absolute unit. Jay West, unit. Everyone's a unit. Juan, unit. Like, everyone's a unit on our tribe. But yeah, I was volunteering for as many of the physical stuff as possible. Sorry, we lost the first challenge. It kind of sucked running around. Yeah.
You lose the first challenge, and so let's talk cryptex, because I don't know if it's when you first arrive at campsite, but at some point you're going to arrive at your campsite and you're going to see this cryptex in your fire pit.
So I will start off by saying that this cryptex is the dumbest thing I have ever seen added to any game that I've ever played or witnessed. It is stupid. It is so stupid. We're walking up. This actually happened to be a problem for me throughout my time playing, but I walked naturally, I guess, like 4 times as fast as like my entire tribe. So I get to the camp first and I see this thing in the fire pit and I step into the fire pit. I think, oh my gosh, like, is there a way to grab this secretly? So I step into the fire pit. I'm kind of over it. And then I grab it. I'm like, oh, look what this is, everyone. And, I didn't understand, I guess, what the culture was. I didn't know if it was supposed to be found like secretly, privately. But I think it's some kind of advantage that people are going to, like they did on Survivor 48, respect that this is something Colby found and this is something he wants to work on, whatever. But then Allison is like, let me try that. Let me take that. Let me take that off your hands for you, and takes it from me. And so then, I start puppy guarding her with it. I'm keeping my eye on it. Like maybe she's gonna somehow guess like one of the like tens of thousands of possible combinations. It's gonna be right. Like is she gonna open it? Whatever. Like, and then I think like, oh, can I grab that back? So I take it back from her, and then she's puppy guarding me. She's over my shoulder, like making sure, oh, I'm not, what are you doing with that? Blah, blah. And so it's just like, it's became this whole thing because I said this in my Meet Me video. If I get fixated on something that I'm passionate about, I literally, against my own better judgment, cannot unfixate from it. And so it became this obsession paired with the boredom I was talking about earlier. It becomes this obsession of I'm so bored out here. I need to be doing something. Here's something that I can always be doing that's just like occupying my mind. And I'm also just kind of obsessed with it. And so like I just like and so I thought it was like people are gonna understand and respect that, oh, this is something that Colby found because like they did on 48. So this is something that it's not a big deal if he takes it into confessional with him, which was so stupid. I go to confessional, I go, I know this is really bad for my game. I know they're talking bad about me back there. I know that my attention to this cryptex is going to ruin my game, but I can't stop it out of my own just how I am with a puzzle that's in front of me. I will get this done. I will open it. I knew that no one else was going to open it but me at the end of the day because of how fixated I was on it. And so I bring it back, and I can tell everyone just got finished like crap talking the fact that I brought it to confessional, and I'm just like, well, like I didn't solve it. Here it is. There's still something in it. I'll shake it around. It's rattling. You can hear it. Whatever. But yeah. Then do you want me to just like fully explain the whole cryptex thing, start to finish?
Well, I guess talk a little bit more philosophically about the cryptex. From a game because you're designing the survive. I assume as host you're also designing this upcoming Surviving Maryland season, right?
There's a twist team which I was on 2 semesters ago, but it's like I work with like the twist team.
So would you have preferred that the cryptex was told this is for a reward, not an advantage, or B, that there was just an advantage inside?
I think it was handled very wrong because eventually when I do get it open, I'm told that this is something that it will be no secret. It will be no secret. This cryptex is not an advantage. It is candy and only candy, and that will be made very clear. I kind of open it the same minute we're walking to a challenge, so it can't be that this whole show of them bringing candy and being like, this is all it is. So I open it, and I don't want to be like keeping this secret because I kind of told like Chad, I told Juan, yeah, I told Deb, yeah, I got this thing open, and I can't just keep this secret while we're at the challenge. So we're walking to the challenge and like, guys, yeah, so I opened the thing. It's candy. Just wanted to let you all know, but I don't have the proof and the validation of the fact that it is candy because we're going to a challenge, and it kind of stews in this like disbelief. I do wish that at that point, like because of all of that, everyone just assumed I had an advantage too. They thought, why would it just be candy? Why would they put this thing here and it just be candy? Right? Like that. It's so stupid because someone inevitably is going to throw away their game opening this thing for just candy. Like, give me an extra bead, give me some kind of advantage, because at that point in time, the way I opened it, the way we didn't have time to do this whole show of candy and make it clear that it's not anything other than candy, everyone's just going to assume that I have something. And all I can do is just already be put in a position where everyone thinks I'm lying. And it was just all around, it shouldn't have been in the game. And it's also a disadvantage. Like, I get candy and I have to choose certain people that get to do it. I have to pick out specific people for a reward on day 1 or day 2, whenever it was. And also, everyone said I never put it down. It's 3 a.m. and Allison's sitting around the fire twiddling with it. And so then, of course, like she's like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go to bed. And I think, okay, so it's acceptable to go fiddle with it in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. So then I start fiddling with it, blah, 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 and then everyone starts waking up and gathering around the fire. And then I'm sitting around the fire with the thing, and I'm like, okay, so now I'm just caught red-handed again, just playing with this thing. Whatever. What all around Cryptex stupid addition to the game, and it was added. I found out it was added to the game about 20 minutes before it started.
That I didn't know.
It was added to it was someone on production, I guess I won't call him out, shows up to whatever, it's right about to start, and they go, look at these things, look at these things I bought, look at these things, it's cool, let's throw them in the game, let's candy, we're the candy bandits, because previously there had been candy bandits, whatever. And it's just, it is so stupid, it's so dumb, because that ultimately just derailed my game to a point where I would have an incredibly hard time getting it back on. And it was just like, whatever, man. All right, let's move on. Enough Cryptex talk. I've already had nightmares about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more as we kind of walk through the steps, because I think at the end of the day, the Cryptex, I don't think you were voted out because of the Cryptex, but certainly the way the alliances form maybe were impacted by the Cryptex. It's hard to disentangle.
Yeah.
So one of the other twists, which I know you're gonna think fondly about, Aliana says hi, by the way, and also apologizes, sort of.
Poor sweet Colby. That is not an apology. But it does, it doesn't warrant an apology. I brought my own fate upon myself with that. I'm not trying to blame anyone else other than anyone that agreed to putting it in and just having it straight up just be some candy. I don't know.
So you also learn that there are no idols hidden this season. Instead, you and every player in the game will start with essentially 1/3 of an idol in the form of a string and a bead. In order to play an idol, you need to collect 3 of those. Tell me your thoughts about this.
It's a unique twist, and part of me doesn't like it because I can't just find an idol. It has to be someone has to willfully give it to you. But also, there's a lot of pros to it. I'm not going to be digging around a little like a snake hole, reaching for an idol. I'm not going to get caught looking for one because I wouldn't be able to keep my mind off of it when I have nothing else to do. I think it's a really, I do like I do like that as a twist. I think it was good. I do. I think it was a good idea.
So when you heard this twist, what were you thinking about doing with it? Was it like, I just need to sit on this because it'll be useful later, or something else?
My plan was to sit on it at first to there's always a fear, it's scary because you have to kind of play around it. There's a lot of ways it can go with that in the game, because if someone has, as long as someone has 1 or 2 people in their corner, then they can do something about a vote. So I instinctively know that, or right at the bat know that okay, people are probably going to be a little more deceptive and less straightforward, because if they say, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to vote for you, just keeping it real like that, then someone could just pull together beads if they know, and so people are just going to be lying about obvious stuff at a certain point. But I also don't think that people are going to be willing to give away their bead early in the game. People are going to view it as a valuable currency and be like, okay, if I have my bead, then I have an ability to do something with the bead. So I don't think we're going to see them come up in the first tribal or 2. I didn't at that point.
Aliana also would like you to know she does not apologize.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
So we've talked about the beats, we've talked about the Cryptex. Beyond those, how was that opening first day for you with your tribe, getting things set up?
I am not, and I'm not an outdoorsy person, but I have no experience outdoors. I don't know how to be like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this for the shelter, you need to do this for the fire, but I'll be told what to do. I remember like I'd be doing like really long confessionals, and I would be like, okay, everyone's over there. I see them building this whole camp, and I'm over here talking. I'm just gonna talk for a couple minutes longer so I don't like have to contribute to that specific thing. But I did like the aspect. I did like going to gather wood. I liked getting to chop the wood. I like playing with the machete. There's a lot of stuff that I liked about it, but it's also just like, we do this fun opening challenge. We get back to camp, and then we're like, okay, we have some stuff to do. We have a shelter to build. We build the shelter. We sit down, and then we're like, oh, now what? What do we do now? We just sit here? Cool. Nice. There's a lot of like disconnecting from the outside world. The day one of like I've done camps before where you don't have your phone, but like that first day, there's a lot of disconnecting, checking your pocket. Oh, where's my phone? Whatever. So there's still an aspect of disconnecting from the real world and letting yourself set into this environment you find yourself in, which is you're in the woods. This is what you're doing. The outside world does not exist right now. You're here.
Who were you vibing with, or was there anyone you had conversations with? You're like, oh, this may be a person I want to work with.
So I had this apparently very incorrect thought that Deb and I were vibing. I thought that we had a good thing going. Apparently she did not trust me. She did not like me. I didn't honestly. I tried to I completely fumbled the social game of this at the start. I said in one of my first confessionals, this is like the worst I have ever felt socially in any game right away. I thought that Jay West and I would be super good and talking game and stuff. I remember I tried to talk to like Andrew, but Andrew never played games. I don't think he really understood like how to like when the game talk was like needing to pick up and stuff. I know I had a conversation with Allison of, hey, we've been puppy guarding each other with this thing. Why don't we instead, like, I can tell you're a gamer. She said, yeah, I can tell you are. Why don't we just not target each other? Because I feel like that would just get messy, and I think it makes more sense if we work together. Aliana and I had a conversation at some point when she was like, no one would expect us to as a duo. No one would expect us to as a duo. And then one of us was like, oh, like Kyle and Camilla, which became the biggest, most hopeful lie in the world ever. And but then like I also like I don't know. I had these little conversations. Everyone was just kind of vibing. I didn't really start game conversations until far too late, mostly because I think I was annoying myself with how much I was talking, what I was saying. So I just like thought that it was a weird moment. Like I just got randomly kind of pretty like insecure about how I was being perceived by everyone because I thought I was annoying myself. So I assumed I was annoying everyone else. And that's not normal with me when it comes to these games. Normally I feel like I have a really, or just in general, I think I have a really good grasp of how I'm perceived by others. But I was annoying myself. So I'm off shifted. So I'm like, okay, if they think I'm annoying and I'm trying to start game conversations, it's just not going to be good. So I kind of started game conversations pretty late. That was another tangent. I just like keep forgetting what the question is.
So there was a little bit of a brief interruption when I first answered the question. You were describing you had a conversation with a person, but like you thought it went well, but they thought it didn't. Were you talking about Deborah?
Yes, Deborah. I thought that we were so good, but apparently she didn't like me or trust me.
It was one of my. It was very funny as a viewer because we don't get to see a lot, but we see this conversation. We hear you say it, then we hear her say, not trusting him. And I think we'll touch it. We'll come back to that because I think by the time we get to day three, things will come around. But at least initially, she didn't seem like she had a lot of trust in you.
Yeah, no, she did not. And I love Deborah so much. She's one of my favorite people I met through the entire experience. She's the sweetest woman ever. But when I come out of the game and I get my phone again, all my like friends and stuff are like, screw Deborah, we hate Deborah. But I'm like, no, please, like, don't say that. Deborah is like the sweetest ever. Like, and I know I thought that in the game too, and then she was actually just like, this kid sucks. But like I don't know. It was I don't know. We just didn't have the same view on that at all. I thought we vibed in the first challenge when I dropped back to like help her like run with her, like finishing strong and like motivate her and stuff. But I guess like I don't know. I just got a false idea from that.
How was that first night sleeping outside?
It was terrible. I would say that first night was like nothing I have experienced ever, because it starts pretty warm. I had a big tarp, or it was poncho, big poncho that unfolded into this big tarp that I laid out on the ground. So while everyone else is in like hotel, like Anada, whatever, under the thing, I had my own little sleeping area by myself, on the grounds. And at first it's not too cold. I'm using my flannel as a blanket. I'm like laying there. I had my whole like setup with my thing pulled up over my eyes and my hood on and like tightening stuff. And at first I'm fine. I can't really sleep. And then it gets cold and the ground is like so frigid. There's a joke on the way down, like when we were driving from like to Reelfoot, where our driver O'Rear, he said like the coldest thing I've ever experienced in my life is nights at Reelfoot. And we're joking, we're like, you've never seen snow? Like, but then I understood what he meant, because that was like, that first night was miserable. I didn't sleep for a single second. Eventually I get up, I start tending the fire. I see Allison twiddling with the Kodak. So then when she decides to put it down for a bit, I try to take a little swing at it. I think everyone was up at some point. I think it's incredibly unlikely that like 6 out of 9 people on our tribe have like some like sleep apnea or something, because everyone's just snoring so loud. I don't like, I have to be like, oh, snoring's like comforting. Everyone's like, snoring's comforting because you're reminded that people are here. But like, that's just not how I actually viewed it. I just had to be like, yeah, I love that everyone's basically screaming in their sleeps right now. I love it so much. I can stand it. Like, everyone's snoring. And like people, I don't know how people fell asleep right away. Andrew, the second he closed his eyes, like he'd be like, all right, guys, good night. And just like instantly jump into like the deepest sleep ever. And I don't know. There was one night that it was like, I'm just gonna jump.
Juan confirms literally almost everyone
I don't
snored.
even know who's watching right now, but everyone snored. There was one night when like Juan and I are up, and I tried to. Okay, I'm just gonna give a little rundown of this night because I know I want to talk about it at some point. We get a hammock. I start in the hammock, and I'm actually sleeping. It's like the first time I'm like able to like sleep, kind of, and then I hear like Jess and Allison like, oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? Get up. And I heard it too. There was something huge like walking very close to our camp. So I jump out of it and I jump out of the hammock. I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that? That was so scary. Whatever. It walks away and Allison's like, oh, do you mind if I go sleep in the hammock from now on? And I'm like, sure, you can take the hammock. So I try to lay down under the canopy thing we had. And I'm next to Aliana, and she's facing me, and she's snoring so like loud in my ear. And so I get up and I move to the chair because I can't do it. But then she rolls over and faces Juan, who also had Andrew in his other ear, and it was like 2 lions having like a battle with each other. It's like because they weren't in sync with each other. It was like a constant stream when one of them would like the second one of them would like close their mouth, the other would open and start snoring. And then Juan rises like Dracula. He's like, I can't take it anymore. And comes and he sits with me, and then we talk for a while. And that was one of my favorite conversations of the entire game, was when Juan and I were just sitting there talking about it. And it's just like that, like, ooh, I tried to sleep in the hammock. I tried to sleep in my own little like private tarp. I tried to sleep under the thing. I tried to sleep in the chair, and none of it worked. And I don't think I slept for at all once I got out of the hammock. But yeah, nights there, not fun.
Juan confirms that he was very annoyed by his sleeping situation.
Like, it was like they're both right in his ears. Like after like I leave, Aliana like rolls over and faces his ear, and it's just like, oh. Sorry to Aliana if you're still watching.
Oh, she is. She says sleeping pills make her snore, so you can blame those. So, going into day 2.
Wait, what did she say?
Oh, sleeping pills always make her snore.
I should have brought sleeping pills.
Who'd have thought? So talking about day 2, I'm curious, like, are you searching in the woods for anything, or hearing that there's no idols, or the idols you have are the beads? Are you just like, nah, not worth my time searching?
So Chad had pointed out to me the letters that were posted up on the trees and stuff. I literally had only seen the O that he pointed out to me at some point. I think it was the first night. I could be wrong on that. And I know everyone had already seen some of these letters. Deb reveals to me that like there was also like a U and a P. So I have a U, a P, and an O, but I've only seen the O. So the only thing I can like look for is just more letters to try to uncover this thing. But other than that, I wasn't really looking for stuff because like I broke it down from a numbers perspective. They said that the last time to I think they said the idols went down to
8.
Yeah, so it was 8, and there's 18 players, so they couldn't have more than. So like if there's 3 beads per idol, that 18 divided by that was 6, and then if it is the final 8 and someone has immunity and 6 people somehow play a thing like an idol, then one person gets read out, and they couldn't ever have more than that. They couldn't add another idol, so not everyone would have like a thing. So they couldn't add anything else because of the possibility that could be. And I explained the numbers and logic behind it probably too many more times than I should have. But so I wasn't looking for stuff because I knew there couldn't, like, it was impossible that there was an idol out there.
Okay, because like, and so we'll get the letters because you're gonna have that first reward challenge of day 2. This is where you race out, collect beanbags, knock blocks off, stack back up the blocks as a puzzle, and your tribe's gonna win this.
Yeah, it was awesome. That challenge in general was like so much fun. I got to just like throw around some like beanbags and stuff, which I like doing. It was just something fun. At the end of the first challenge, we didn't get to this point, but there was a gong where you had to hit it from a certain distance, and we didn't really get to it. I wasn't gonna be the one throwing it, but after we finished, just for the sake of it, I just took a beanbag and just chucked it and like nailed the gong. And so I was feeling good about my throwing ability. I thought it was good. We won the challenge. It was super clutch. The woman killed it on that puzzle there. That was awesome. Yeah, it was hype.
And you get to go raid the other camp.
Yeah. Yes, I do. We drew to see who would go explore the other camp. I think that there's already eyes on me for the codex or the cryptex thing, whatever. I don't want to go. I don't need to have this target on me for going also, but of course I draw the white rock. And so I'm like, someone else can do it. Someone else can like go on this adventure. But I end up going, and I walk, I go like, so I get in the camp, and I don't know how to go about this. Like everyone says their name. I managed to not hear any of them. And so I'm just like, I guess I'm going to take one of your things now. Their camp is a lot bigger than ours, a lot better than ours. I see the candy jar. I go, where'd that candy come from? They go, oh, it came with the camp. So I think that's interesting. We take their chair. As I'm walking away, I turn around and I'm like, so about the letters. I'm like, so have you guys solved it? Oh yeah. So I go, have you guys solved that little thing that was in your fire pit probably? And they go, no. Isaiah's like, no, like it's over there. We couldn't solve it, and points to like nothing. Just like points to nothing. I'm like, okay, well, they definitely have solved it, whatever. I go, so like, do you guys know where any letters are? And Brandon points out the A to me. Brandon points out the A, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. So now I have a U, a P, an O, and an A. And so I'm walking back to Anata camp, and I'm thinking about it. I think, wow, that's a lot of vowels. And if no one's guessed it, just trying any 6-letter word, it has to start with the vowel. But it wouldn't. There's not a lot of words you could do with that. And I stop in my tracks. Trinica and Parker were walking behind me. I stop. I turn around. I go, the word's utopia. And so we keep walking. We get to camp, and I think, okay, I see the cryptex sitting there. I know what the solution is. Um, at what point do I just open it? Do I just open it right now? Like, this is probably stupid if I do. So I grab it. I'm like, I do my classic phrase that everyone will say that I said a million times. Be like, could I actually see that and try a couple things? So I pick it up, and Allison's like, oh, like, what words are you trying? Because everyone's just going to assume if I just come back and open it, everyone's going to assume, oh, he just found out what it was from the other camp. But I didn't. I just like figured out the word. So I'm just trying random words. They're like, what are you trying? I'm like, oh, I just tried my own name with an extra Y. I tried your name. I don't know. Tried happy with an extra Y. And so then I go to the chair. Everyone's laying down trying to nap. And I try Utopia. I see that it opens, and I quickly close it. I don't open it there, and I look at Deb to get her attention, and I'm like, I opened it. I know that she thinks I just got the solution, but whatever. So she's just like, quickly open it right now. So I open it, put it in my pocket, and she clutches up for me. And she's just like I don't know what to do now that I just still have this thing that I don't know what to do. She's like, could I actually try that? So I hand it to her. That's why I thought we were good, because she clutched up in that moment and saved me from it. And then I go to my confessional to open it, and then it's candy, and we go to challenge. Whatever. Sorry, I went to the other camp. I didn't really learn their names, but it seemed like I was dominating the other tribes dynamic and talking the most.
Your second reward challenge of the day. This is the man down challenge. Basically, you swim out, collect blocks, stack the blocks on a platform in the water, and this would go great, except you're against Rob, who gets all the blocks in one go.
Yeah. So we had two different strategies, our tribes. We thought, okay, Deb, she's a distance swimmer. She can go out there and gather the ones around the edge and then swim back. She's a good swimmer, whatever. Instead of just sending out whoever we thought would be the fastest swimmer, which was definitely an oversight in the challenge. But yeah, so Deb, she's swimming out there, distance swimming, not too fast. Rob just like David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie, where he just coasts along the top of the water like a speedboat. To any of those that have that ball knowledge, he grabs every single one of the things and then somehow swims back with no hands. Like, what on earth? What? I still don't know how he did that. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, well, we lost this challenge. It's hopeless. We're not winning this. That's okay. It's not going to happen. And we did not win.
So we kind of fast forward to before the first immunity challenge. I'm curious if you can take the 9 other players in your tribe, or 8 other players in your tribe, can you rank them from most to least important to your game?
Least important, Jess, because I haven't had any conversations with her. At that point in time, I wanted to I thought the most important to my game was, well, I hadn't talked game at all with Jay West, but I wanted to. I just assumed that we would be buddies and helping each other out. I thought that Deb was going to be important to my game, but I also just, because Chad pointed out the letters to me first, I thought I feel good with Chad. I think Allison and I have a mutual understanding. Supposedly Aliana and I have this Kyle Camilla thing, but I honestly forgot about that until it was brought back, until she brought it back up later. I wasn't really thinking too much about that at all. But yeah, I thought that Jay West and I just would be good and on the same page. I thought that Deb and I would be good and on the same page. And I thought that Allison and I had an understanding. I don't know. The rest were, I wanted to work with Andrew, but I tried to talk to Andrew and I was like, so who do you feel like good about? I'm like, who do you feel like good about on our tribe maybe? And he's like, yeah, we just, everyone did good in this challenge. Yep. I'm like, okay, but like, if we were to like lose like a challenge, maybe like what would you be thinking about getting a group? And he's like, yeah, I think let's just I think that the goal is just to keep winning some challenges. And I'm like, no, like I'm like, we should get a group together. We should get people together and have like a group. And he's just like, yeah, it's really important that we just gotta power through and win a challenge. I'm like, that's not. What are you talking about? I'm trying to make an alliance with you. I'm trying to talk the game. This is like my first game conversation. This is how it's like going. Like this is like, oh, I don't know what. Like, what do I even say What do I even say right now? I'm trying. Like, I can't be more direct. But, yeah. So Andrew, I wanted him to be important because I felt good about him, but it was hard to strategize with him at the beginning. I think because he just didn't understand like the strat, like the word, like playing like Survivor, like in this game, like you got to talk, you got to manipulate, you got to whatever. Because he's just the nicest guy ever. I don't know.
Yeah. So where's Juan in this Reelfoot ranking?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't really talked to Juan a whole lot. I don't think at that point. But like I like I don't know. I didn't feel bad about him. I hadn't really talked. Actually, wait, is that true? Wait, I don't even know. I don't remember. I feel like because I don't remember that Juan and I were not like this, but I guess I wasn't like that with anyone. So
I'm curious, had you heard any names floated around, or did you have any names in mind that you're like, if we lose, I want to go after this person and take them out?
if we had lost, like, I knew that my name was going to be out there. I was just hoping that it wouldn't be the main name. I thought that people are just going to try to jump on voting Deb or something because that's just classically what you see in these games. Like the maybe like older women will just get targeted at first. And I didn't want that to be the case. But like that's kind of what I assumed would happen. I wasn't really having game conversations, so stupidly, so I didn't really know how everyone was feeling, other than I assumed that people would target me because of the cryptex thing or target Deb, because that's just like what happens normally.
Had you noticed any other groups or alliances at all?
Oh, like absolutely. Especially, I'll talk about this later, especially, but I noticed really, I know it wasn't established yet at this point, but really early on, I noticed the four of Jess, Allison, Aliana, and Chad. Chad tried to pitch something of me, him, like Andrew and Juan. I think he tried to pitch that to me at some point. I guess I didn't notice at that point before our first tribal clear groups, but I saw that everyone was a lot friendlier and more one-on-one with each other than I had with anyone.
So you go into your first immunity challenge. This is the man down challenge, which involves carrying a person in a stretcher. There's some charades, there's some ball bouncing, there's a puzzle to end. Where were you in this challenge?
So I was in the charades. I had to receive a message and understand it, and then give that to the next person, which I believe I received it from Chad and gave it to Andrew. And so I think all three of us, we killed that. Like we killed that part of it. We carry the stretcher. We picked up Allison. We bring her to. I was like in the front of it. I was carrying it. My calves were dying for some reason because I like didn't stretch them well. We get to the next part, which is Jess carrying the ball on the thingy, like the paddle, which she just like took a very long time to do. That we lost the entire lead that we had gotten, which I was in the moment very upset about that we had lost this whole lead, because then it felt like, okay, I didn't really do anything in this challenge as a result of that. And then we get to the rest of the challenge plays out. We have a pretty big lead. Juan is absolutely killing it, throwing his body on the line, gathering these pieces. I've seen people do the blindfolded stuff and like step like one step at a time. They're yelling like, Ron, go faster. And they're just not. But Juan was ready to die for these puzzle pieces. It was so good. And then Allison in this challenge, on the other hand, I was like, doing everything I could to not scream at her. I've seen Jay West doing the same thing, just because she's like telling Juan like, oh, put that one there, and I'm like, there's no semblance of a pattern or shape on like you're looking at it's a diamond. It's a diamond. It looks like this, but it was like she's like mixing and matching whatever, and I'm like, I understand this is like a pressure situation and like whatever, maybe you're like confusing the lines and stuff, but no pieces that are next to each other go next to each other right now. And then Isaiah and I think it was Geraldine on the other tribe, they start locking in and start like getting their puzzle done pretty fast. And we see the little bit of hope that they had one of their pieces wrong. And then I see Allison kind of notice that like she hasn't had a single like piece and like even like next adjacent to a piece it was supposed to be. And so we start locking in towards the end and we start putting them in and catching up a bit, but it was just like a disastrous finish. And I know it's a pressure situation, but like I see like Jay West, I see myself just literally in the back, just like, what is happening? We can't say anything right now to like actually like look at the pictures that are on the planks. Like, sorry, that was mean, but that's how I felt in the moment.
Exactly. And again, this you have the stage, and so you lose this challenge. Now, the joy of losing the first mini challenge is your tribal council is the following morning, so you have all evening, night, and morning to strategize. Talk me through the strategy for this vote and how it evolved, because there was evolution.
So I would not call this a joy. It was not a joy by any
Torture
means.
is the other term for it.
Yeah, I see that. So, we're everyone's kind of like talking, getting ready to do this like whole sleeping shebang again, and everyone's like, I see the 4 plus Jay West. I see this group of 5 like talking to the side, and whoever I was talking to like down the hill, I'm like, that 5 up there, like kind of dangerous, whatever. It seems like it, whatever. And everyone's just ready to go to sleep, and I'm like, what? No one has been saying a name. No one settled on anything. How is everyone going to sleep? This isn't good. And so I pull Jess away for a little chat. And then as we're chatting, we see some members of production walking towards, and we're talking about the candy that I had won because everyone thinks that I got an advantage too. And so I say, like, the way it was laid out to me is that it would be 100% clear that this is not an advantage. It's a jar of candy, and that is it. And so the fact that there's so much ambiguity in how the candy was given to us and how weird it was, I say, like, as like the production is walking up, I'm just like, okay, can you say to Jess like kind of like what this like how this this candy thing is, because the way it was laid out to me was that there's no ambiguity. This is just candy. And so then we're like, okay, like we go sit back, and then production comes over, and everyone's asleep at this point except like me and Jess, or I think like 5 or 6 out of 9 people in our tribe were asleep. And they had come to film. They come to just film conversations that may be happening. But so they come and they like announce, okay, we just wanted to say the candy thing, it's just candy, it's not an advantage, whatever. And I'm literally physically like convulsing and like cringing because I'm like, okay, 6 people were just woken up and are gonna think I just tattled. Everyone's just gonna think I'm a tattletale. They came to film. They didn't even open with that. After that whole thing, and they're like, okay, this like Colby's candy is just candy, guys. It's just Colby's candy is just candy, everyone. I go, also, they're here to film. I didn't tell them to come. They happen to be here. And the way it was laid out to me was this. But then everyone wakes up, and like I don't even know how to go about saying, guys, I didn't tell them to come. I was just trying to ask them for clarification, because the way it was laid out to me is that this is not a mystery. And that sets everyone off to be very mad. I know Deb was mad because she was trying to spread the rumor that I did have something from it, whether or not she believed me. I get pulled for a confessional. I come back as people are like, it's crazy that happened. It's crazy that he did that, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, I need to bandwagon. I'm on your all side. That was crazy that they did that, blah, 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 blah. ultimately that may have saved my game because I think it was kind of on me because of all the chaos that was caused of that, or maybe it was on Dev. I don't know exactly who it was on, but through this all, through everyone being awake again and through everything, I'm talking to Jay West and Juan, and Jay West says, yeah, like your name is out there. And I go, what? Well, I'm just not going to go to sleep and not deal with it. So I go start talking to everyone again. And like, I know Juan was just telling Jay West, like, shut up and go to sleep. Shut up and go to sleep. You're hurting your own game. And at some point during that, it had flipped on Jay West, who was, I guess, trying to defend me a bit. I don't know. I didn't see these conversations happening, so I don't want to speak on others' behalfs because maybe this whole thing is off. It was either on me or Deb, and then it switched to Jay West. And I think that if the whole candy thing hadn't happened, which was like so horrible and cringy and awful when it happened, it may have been me the first vote. So I am kind of glad that it happened.
So you end up voting along with Juan, Andrew, and Jay West for Deborah. When does that plan come together? And do you think it's going to be unanimous?
I did. So I thought that I knew that something was going to happen because as a result of everything playing out, I'm talking to Chad, I'm talking to Allison. I'm like, okay, that was also messy. And they're like, don't worry, you're good. I'm like, so then is it Deb? Is Deb the name? Are you going to say the name Deb? They go, you're good. You don't have to worry. So I knew something was going to happen. I didn't think it was me, but I was very nervous that it maybe just could have been, but I knew something was going to happen. And then as the votes roll in, like I'd only heard Deb, so I voted Deb. I see Deb. I'm like, 4 votes Deb and no vote someone else. This is about to be a huge blindside. And then I see Jay West. And I had this relief because I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, it's a tie 4-4. I've a bit escaped it. And I see a second vote Jay West. And I think, okay, I'm safe. That's good. The third vote Jay West, I go, oh my gosh, Jay West is about to leave the game. This stinks, man. This is the only person I knew beforehand. Like we could have had this such a great thing if we had like ever spoken game before the middle of the night when you told me my name was out there, and then it all collapsed on him somehow. And then Jay West goes home, and I'm just happy to still be there. Anytime you survive a vote, everything could switch up by the next one. But this also draws so much like. I realized in this moment that this 4 is a 4. Allison, Aliana, Jess, and Chad is a 4, and they're not going to break from each other. This is a 4. And yeah, so yeah, that's where it's left off, I guess.
So you go into your next mini challenge, Hot Pursuit, and you're going to win this challenge pretty handily. Which leads to the third mini challenge, Reelfoot Leftovers, which I think this is where you're tossing bean bags onto a platform, and you have to get all the bean bags on the platform before doing something else. And this doesn't go well for your tribe.
Oh yeah, the spider where everyone's like holding the strings and stuff. That challenge was really cool. So it feels so mean to call people out because I know everyone knocked off something at some point, but there was like 2 times during the challenge where Jess knocked like all of our bean bags off. And we just had to like almost fully reset like a couple times. And Deb was killing it. She nails the throws, whatever. But so when we lose the challenge, it's like people had what am I answering right now? Just about that? Just like we lost it?
You lose the third immunity challenge.
Okay, yeah. So
anything else you want to say about the challenge itself?
I thought the challenge was cool. I think that we did have a bit of a strategy issue with it because like we had to just kind of cycle through Chad as a thrower because we couldn't have like I think it was Chad because we couldn't have like Deb wasn't mobile enough to be the retriever until like he landed one. So we'd have to cycle through Chad, who was going to presumably be one of our best throwers. I didn't do as well as I thought I would with the throwing. But yeah, I don't know if we would have won that challenge. We definitely had some setbacks. Yeah.
I did forget to ask a question. I want to back up a little bit.
The puzzle. Oh my gosh, the puzzle we were killing. We were absolutely killing the puzzle. If we had maybe another 30 seconds like advantage, we absolutely would have like beat the other team.
Every challenge was close this season. Your tribes were neck and neck the entire time. Protection was happy. So I want to kind of go back after the first tribal council. You vote for Deborah. You are blindsided. JWS comes out. What happens when you get back to camp? What is the fallout there for you?
After the first tribal?
Yeah.
It's just the it's the BS of Allison and Chad being like, yeah, we didn't know where the leak was. Like we wanted to tell you, we just didn't know how small to keep it, whatever. And I'm like, I can't be like, no, you should have told me. I can't be like mad about it. I just have to be like, yeah, like, thank you for just keeping me here. I'm hoping that's a fresh reset after last night's all of its chaos and stuff. Thank you so much for allowing me to still be here in this game. Let's move forward. But yeah, I definitely had a sour, like, I just come into positive, but I definitely had a sour taste in my mouth that like these people are not actually prioritizing me as an ally.
Given that you're concerned about this group of four, do you have any conversations with Juan, Andrew, or Deborah before losing that 30-minute challenge?
I don't remember exactly. I mean, it's hard to bring that up to Deb because
they saved her.
Because because they saved her and she's in on that. But I am like, it did kind of bond me, Andrew, and Juan a bit because we're like, at that point, we're like, okay, we were the three left out of that vote. We kind of need to stick together and pull in someone. Like, we need to just have each other's backs here. Us three, like, we're solidified now after that, is what we were kind of saying. That was the conversations we had with each other about that. And, like, obviously we're saying to the other people, like, don't worry, we're not viewing this as a 5v3 now. But when we're talking to each other, we kind of have to view it a bit as like a, okay, we're the three left out. We are isolated from, or we're separated from them. Sorry. From the other.
You lose that 30-minute challenge. This is the round where Deborah's getting voted out, which is not what you wanted. Can you talk me through your strategies and what you were trying to accomplish this round?
Okay, so I'm in a group of, I don't really know who I think, like, the conversation goes to, we can't lose another challenge. It's Jess or Deb, because Deb has a bad hip and Jess has lost us the lead in both of these immunity challenges that we've lost. And so I'm kind of advocating for the fact that like we should get we should get Jess out. Like, and it seemed like people were leaning Jess. It seemed like maybe Andrew, maybe Juan, I don't exactly remember, we're gonna lean Jess. But then of course I talked to Chad and I talked to Allison. They're like, nah, it's gotta be Deb. And I'm like, Deb was not the worst in that challenge. Deb was not the worst in any challenge. She's so skillful. But I do understand that we can't base our entire strategy with challenges around one person. But it honestly goes beyond the challenge thing for a moment, because like I think there's this four that are so avidly defending Jess that they're like not even truly hearing out like this idea to maybe vote out Jess. So then I see Deb, fighting for her life, trying to convince people to not vote for her. And I'm like, what's up, Deb? And she's like, I am not the worst one of these challenges. I need like this is so stupid. I go, I know you're not. And you know what? That four right there, they are so tight. It would be so stupid for me, Juan, and Andrew to vote you out, because if we do that, then we're just gonna get picked off when we lose more challenges. Like I'm like, I am going to go to bat for you. I think we should go to rocks for you. I think that like we need to absolutely, like, above everything whatsoever, protect you in this vote, or else we're just going to get picked off afterwards. And she's like, yeah, I agree. So then I go to Chad and I go to Allison, and I'm just basically begging them to vote I mean, I knew they were in the thing, but I'm basically begging them to vote for Jess, and the fact that they didn't is just like, whatever. It just somehow didn't come together. I wanted to like go to Rocks so badly in that vote, but I said that in a confessional. I was recently like looking back through them. I said in a confessional, like, we need to go to Rocks or something. Like it just needs to happen, or else we're screwed over, because no one seemed to be acknowledging the four, because everyone had these little connections. Like Allison had like a personal connection with like Juan or with Andrew, and everyone thought that they had these connections into this group, and no one was seeing the big picture, that this is a four that we cannot break into. We need to do something while we have 4 and 4, and it was very frustrating that didn't end up happening. But yeah.
So if you can't get Juan and Andrew to vote with you, is there a world where an idol can be played on Deborah?
There is a world like that, and I didn't know that Deb didn't even have her beat at that point. I don't think that at that point I was in the mindset where I would have played my idol on Deb. I think I should have done that then. I don't think in the moment I was in the mindset where the second vote I go to, I'm going to get rid of this piece of currency I have. Like, I know that they're going to start flowing more as the game goes on, but in the early stages of this game, like, we don't know how they're going to develop. We just have like this bead, like whatever. Yeah.
And Juan points out he just hates rocks, which, like, I can't blame a person for not being willing to put their game up to chance, but this is a rough situation, especially given what the outcome is for you.
Well, that's another reason why I was pushing for a sword, because I still felt like I was not in, like, if we lost another one, I thought that I was going to be targeted above Juan or Andrew, which ended up being true, but that's why I was also pushing for it so much, because I knew that I was the next one of those. There's a bit of leeway between Andrew and Juan. But...
So this is a unanimous vote. It'll be 7-1 on Deborah. And again, I think this is one of the more interesting votes for me about your game, because like because you can see that you are fighting on her behalf. You are doing everything you can. Like, I do not want to write her name down. I know this is bad for my game.
Yeah, I was. Yep. I was doing everything I could to switch it on to Jess.
So Deborah goes out. You have your last mini challenge of day 3. This is Sumo at Sea. Who do you compete against?
I competed against Brandon in the first round. I only went once, actually. I was we messed up the numbers because they had less guys, and we forgot that they got to reset their cycle and put Rob against anyone. So we had messed up our cycle a bit towards the end. We just didn't do the numbers of it right. I only played Brandon, and I just kind of, so after I knock Brandon in the water, I throw my bag at him, kind of, because it was muscle memory, because like you go to those trampoline parks, they have like the battle beam where it's 2 people like fighting on it over like a foam cube pit. And so whenever I do this with my friends, like whenever I knock them in, I just toss it at them. So instinctively I knock him in the water and I just toss my thing at him, and I'm like, oh shoot, like that people are probably going to think I'm mean on the other tribe, but whatever, can't turn back from that now. So I think we're playing to 7, and it's 6-5, and the way the numbers were, it was Jess versus whoever she was up against. I don't remember, but if Jess won, then we won the challenge, and if she lost that round, then it was me versus Rob. And I have lawyered my way out of facing Rob the entire time. I'm like, well, Chad, since you have had 1,000 lives in your life, and probably Taekwondo and like spin jitsu, like you can you should definitely 100% go against Rob. And like Chad loses against Rob, and I'm like, oh, and Andrew, look at your calves, you have to face Rob now. I simply couldn't do that. You have to do it now. So I didn't have to play Rob up to that point, but it was, if Jess had lost, then I would had to go against Rob at 6-6, playing to 7. And so I'm sitting there, I'm crossing all my fingers, I'm praying, I'm just like, do everything I can to just win this round, so it's not on me in this final round. I'm doing, and it's so luckily Jess takes the W against whoever her opponent was. I don't remember. And we win the challenge, which was so awesome because, at this point, like, I know that I'm likely gonna maybe go home if we lose this. Was also my thought process. I will lose to Rob humiliatingly, and I will probably go home immediately after. And what was I gonna? Oh yeah, but also like there was the reassurance in our decision to vote out Deb that challenge wouldn't have gone well for her. So we did feel, and we assumed that's what the challenge was going to be also. So like we thought that was going to be the challenge. And like it was, we were like, okay, it's a good thing we voted out Dev at that point because it would have gone horribly. But like whatever, you probably would have sat. We had the option to sit out, so she probably would have sat out. But maybe it would have had the same result. I don't know.
So that kind of wraps up day 3. Anything else about day 3 or night 3 you want to talk about?
I think that night was the lion attack when we got attacked by lions that night. So that was pretty much the only story I would have about that night.
So I want to talk about swaps because something that you probably don't know at this point in the game is that there will not be a swap. And I have to imagine, were you hoping or expecting a swap?
I understand throwing in a no swap season so people can't expect there to be one, but it really sucks when you're experiencing it from the bottom. It like we were just really hoping and assuming we assumed that there would be one. We assumed that there would be one at like I guess at maybe at 15 we thought it was going to go 3 tribes of 5, or we thought maybe someone would get exiled in 2 tribes of 7, or we thought maybe we'd swap at like 14, whatever. We thought that a swap was coming, and I was really hoping and like relying on the fact that there would be one, which is maybe another reason why I was okay voting Deb, because I thought a swap was coming and maybe for the next challenge. There were so many different factors in my mind throughout the whole thing, but I really wanted there to be a swap, and it was absolutely catastrophic that there was not.
So day 4, you arrive for the immunity challenge. You learn that it's for individual immunity because both tribes will be going to tribal council separately, and so you have a chance to win immunity for your tribe. And this is a counting challenge. How do you do?
Okay, so this challenge, I hate how, like, I've said this when I got voted out and stuff. I hate how correct I was about everything this day. Before we go to the challenge, I'm saying, oh, it's gonna be, we're competing for individual immunity. You think they'd have a counting thing and just like put one person on the counting thing? It's for individual. Both tribes are going to tribal. Oh, they probably voted out Trav. I was right about both of those things. We get there and it is that. And I think I do okay in the counting point, the counting aspect of it. I take my time, probably a little too much for accuracy, but Chad, we finished at the same time. He throws his beanbag on to lock the order. Then I throw mine. We counted the same number, and he was 1 throw ahead of me. However, I did my math wrong. I forgot to add my final number to my total, but I counted 425, which was what he counted. So when he says his number, oh yeah, I said 425, and I go, that's like 425 is like what like I counted also. So I liked that. Like looking back at it, I'm happy that I forgot that last, like, to just write down the. So I think I had 425 written on my board, but I wrote down the number that I had added up to before that. So I had 425 on my board, the one that I circled, and I realized when I locked it in that I did not do the answer that I had. I'm really happy about that now, looking back at it, because if I had put down 425 and it really just came down to like 1 beanbag throw, I would have been pretty upset about that. But Chad got it. I'm happy for him. He's to deal whatever counts poker chips for a living, whatever. But because we both got the same number, and he's saying he's like, I had that down to a T. I definitely got that within like 3, and then we didn't get the reward of the full sandwiches because Brandon somehow got it closer. We were a bit surprised because we thought we had nailed it on the head, but we didn't. So yeah, we did count the same number, which was crazy. I don't know.
But you get like a half sandwich at least, right?
Yeah, we got half sandwiches, which was spectacular. Most people are savoring it. I think it might have been Juan who was nibbling on it for like 45 minutes. But like no, we had I don't know how much time we had, but he was nibbling on it like the entire time. I literally ate mine in like 1.5 bites.
So you get back to camp.
Right.
Talk about the scramble, because the scramble gets really hectic in the last 5 minutes for you.
I don't like, so my brain has like blocked out this my brain's like blocked out a lot of this. Maybe because trauma, I don't know.
So it's my fault for not getting to you earlier. I apologize.
yeah, no, maybe. I think it blocked it out as soon as it like was happening. I think, okay, there's this 4 here. We're screwed. I can only try to turn them on to just right. Okay, no. We're gonna talk about the beads. We're gonna talk about the beads because we get to.
That's a good starting point. We get what Chad's gonna do here. Sorry about that.
Chad, he whispers to me before the challenge, I have a plan for after this challenge. I'm like, okay, can I hear it? I'm going to wait until the challenge is done. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm sure I'll hear the plan. He had talked about before how he was scared of Aliana and wanted to work with me, Juan, Andrew, and himself to flip it at some point. And he's been like, he's been promising all these things that like, he's just like, okay, like I know I left you out of that boat, but like I'm good. We're gonna make it up. I'm gonna make it up to you. The next thing will work up. The next thing I'll make it up to you, whatever. Because he wouldn't jump ship onto Deb, and he didn't tell me about the first vote. And I'm like, okay, he's BSing me, but I can't do anything about it. I can't just suddenly start being mean and say, no, you're BSing me, because like I need him still to be on my side. But we get back to camp, and he's like, so I had this idea, guys, and this is just a wild idea. So let me know like what you guys think about it. I'm just throwing it out there. If truly we all want to preserve our beads and use them for each other come the merge, then we should I'll collect everyone's beads. Huh? I am outspoken about this. I'm the only one that seems I go, that doesn't make sense. I don't think we should do that because there's 7 of us on this tribe. There's 7 of us currently here. And there's 3 beads make an idol. So that's at most 2 idols out of our beads. So by preserving the 7th bead, literally the only thing that bead could do that is be beneficial to the other tribe, because if someone goes home with their bead, then we still have 2 idols. So why would we care about that last one? Like, I understand, like, whatever, but like it can only help the other team at this point. And I explain all this and I say, this is stupid. This is a bad idea. Why is anyone considering this? And I basically say that out loud to everyone. And then Aliana goes, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. That's a great idea. And so I think, oh my God, this is good. Like, I'm not going to be the only one that doesn't give up my thing. And then everyone just like hands over a bead. And I'm like the last one to do it, as I'm reluctantly like, this is a stupid idea. We shouldn't be doing this. This is dumb. Everyone doing this is dumb. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say that much, but this basically that was the idea that I was trying to get across, because I'm like, okay, this is like a ploy. This is to screw someone over at this vote. Why is anyone doing this? And I get that like Juan thought it was a bad idea, but he had Deb's bead, so it wasn't as like, it wasn't as bad if he gave away one of his beads. But So I hand over my bead because I don't want to be the only person not to do it, which I should have, whatever. And then we split off in the talk, and like all I can do is pitch Jess at this point because like whatever, and I know Jess is pitching me. So Jess is pitching me, whatever. I'm asking, Aliana says there is a 100% chance that I do not write down your name. I 100% will not write down your name. I think, okay, that's cool. So is it Jess? Is it going to be Jess? She goes, I will not write down your name. I'm picking up what you're putting down was the exact quote. She goes, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I go, so Jess, and she goes, I will not write your name down. I'm just like, oh my God. Because I just need clear answers. But then so I go to so then I talk to Aliana, and no, not Aliana, Allison. And I'm just like, okay, like is it Jess? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's me. So it's me then. And then she's like, there might be some votes on you. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay. So I pull Chad. I'm like, Chad, so it's me, right? It's me. And then she goes, no, absolutely not. It's Jess. It's Jess. It's not you. And I go, okay, well, Allison just said that it's me. And he goes, huh, maybe there's some miscommunication. So they pull off and they whisper, and I think this is just hopeless, whatever. I pull Chad aside again, and I'm just like, so it's me? And he's just like, no. And I go, Chad, like, you are a good liar. I'm sure you're an amazing poker player and liar, but I've been able to tell every single time you've bullshitted me in this game, and you are lying to me right now. And that was the last conversation I had with Chad. I basically just said like screw off. I'm gonna work the only angle I have at this point, which is that Chad said that he wanted to target Aliana, and Aliana said that there's a 0% chance that she will write down my name. So I go up to like Juan and Andrew, and I'm like, okay, we gotta stick together. Aliana is probably on our side, and they're like, I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of your name, and I'm just like, no, but Aliana said there's a 100% chance she's not writing my name down. And so go to Aliana, and I'm like, so I'm saying all this, and I can tell that she's like, yeah, we're good. What did I say? We're good. And I'm just like, okay, but like, I just like don't believe you. And she's like, if I say we're good, we're good. You gotta believe me. And I'm like, okay, but did you even know that Chad has been saying that he's scared of you and wants to target you? So that became the new basis that I had to push. And then it seems like she's kind of like leaning that way and maybe wants to a bit. And then we're walking to tribal, and I I call back. Oh yeah, what I was saying to Chad before. So I'm jumping back a little bit in the story. What I'm saying to Chad is, I'm like, you've been saying, yes, I'll prove it to you. Yes, I'll prove we're allies. Yes, I'll do something for you. This is your time to make that move. This is your time to actually flip and prove anything. He's like, but the opportunity isn't right. When would you have a better opportunity? And why are you even lying to me? You have my bead, you asshole. Like, what am I supposed you have my, I think I said something along those lines. I'm like, you have my bead. I can't do anything. There's no purpose at all for you to be lying to me right now. And you are like, and also this is your chance to actually prove it, or just admit that you have been lying and stringing me along, and that this was a ploy to do whatever. And he goes, no, that's not the right opportunity, I don't think. Voting me is the right opportunity to prove to me that you're, oh my God, whatever. And so then we're walking to tribal council, and I'm just trying to convince Aliana. All my entire game rests in Aliana's hands right now, because Juan and Andrew said that if Aliana says, yes, I'll do it, then they're on board, whatever. So I pull them back, and I'm just like, isn't it true that Chad has said that he wanted to target Aliana? And I don't know if Chad had said that directly to them, but I related to them like kind of immediately. And then Aliana kind of snaps at me, and she's like, it's like, damn it, Colby, you're blowing up my whole game right now. Call me out in front of those people. I'm like, we're in the back. Well, I thought huh? Did you said like this is, I'm trying to build a fort here. I'm trying to build a group here. I'm trying to like do, obviously I'm going to fight for my life. I'm not just going to, like, I'm sorry that I'm calling you out for like in front of these people, but it's not like it's a secret. This is something Chad has been doing. All I'm doing is reiterating in front of people, so it's not just me trying to just say this thing to you at this last, like, it's not me just trying to say this thing to you as like a last ditch thing to try to convince you to sway your vote. This is something that has been talked about, and it's not like whatever. And so I'm just trying, while we're waiting to enter the tribal council area, I am doing everything I can. I've given up trying to even look at Allison and Jess because I don't even know that they knew each other beforehand, but I can see it in their souls that they're buddy skipping off into the sunset together. And there's no way I'm going to be able to turn them on each other. And Chad, he's dead to me. So everything lies in Aliana here, and she knows that. And I'm just trying to, I literally think I probably did everything I possibly could have said or done to try to convince her. And then like it was like, okay, she was like okay, if Juan and Andrew say they're good, I'm good. So they come over and they kind of hint that they're good, but they don't exactly say it. And then eventually, after just minutes of just me trying to do these mental gymnastics around her and just work through whatever, I just think that, okay, please, what could, she's like, I can't give you an answer. If I say a number in my answer at tribal, then we're good, and I'm voting for Jess with you. Sorry. If I say a number in my answer, I'm voting for Jess. So I relay this information to Juan and Andrew as we're walking up, and I can see that Allison and Jess are starting to panic a little bit about all this talking that I've been doing. And I see them whisper, like, we're good, are we good? We're locked in, blah, 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 blah. Like, not with me, obviously. And so we get to tribal council, and Aliana's answer, she ended it with moving forward. After no number in the whole answer. Moving forward. Is that 4? Is that the number 4? Is that FOUR word? Or is it like, are you playing with me, toying me? So I go, what was that? Is that? And she goes, 3. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so there's a number. There's a number, clear as day. I whisper to Juan, I whisper to Andrew. Like, I'm like, that's a number. Did you hear the number? I don't know. Why the word forward? Was that even on purpose? I don't know yet. Maybe she's going to.
It wasn't. She just blanked.
Yeah. Man. But so then, like, what is the point of saying 3? It's like, there's no reason. Like, I know I was going to keep pushing and stuff. And I guess this is why Chad wanted to lie. So I wouldn't have to do this whole thing, whatever. But, yeah. So then it's like, I think, okay, maybe I'm going to be okay. I think maybe this will work out, whatever. And then Parker's like, yeah, this is an open forum. If anyone has anything else they want to say, now's the time to do it. And then Aliana goes over to Chad and whispers something to him. He whispers something back. And then she comes back and she's like, what? Like, I'm like, so what did he say? And she's like, well, he said he didn't say that. I'm like, of course he's going to say that. Like, are you kidding me? He literally lies as a profession. He's like a poker player. And you think, oh, he didn't say it, so he's good. He's honest Abe over here. And so it stirs up this whole live tribal because I'm not going to go down without swinging if I know there's any chance. And then it comes down to the bead thing. And then everyone gets their beads back except me. Like, that was so, like, just annoying from just the standpoint of, yeah, everyone can have it back but you. So then, because another point was that, like, Aliana was like, if I flip, and then I don't get my beads back. So then she has her bead back. And she's like, you've been saying that you can't do anything because you don't have your bead and you might not get it back. Now you have your bead. Let's do something. And then she was like, oh. And it was just like, man, it was such a, like, frustrating time because then out of nowhere, Jess starts yelling at me. She's like, oh, like, you're just trying to throw some Jello at the wall and hope it sticks. And I'm like, does Jello stick to walls? And she, or does Jello stick to the ceiling? And she's like, well, if you throw it hard enough, then I'm like, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to throw it hard enough. You literally just said it yourself. Like, I'm trying to throw it hard enough right now, obviously. And then she's just like, well, everyone's into playing, whatever. And I, much respect to Jess. She's a wonderful woman, but she was, that moment was so, annoying to deal with. As like receiving it. It was just like you don't need to be kicking me while I'm down here. You could just, accept that I've just been told that no one's gonna flip and not just start like yelling at me for it. But whatever. I really tried everything I could. Little did I know that Juan has 2 beads at this point. Something could have been done. And, I'm saying to them now also, I'm like, have you seen my point yet? That there's the 4 here that we're going to get picked off. Like, and, if I'd known that Juan had 2, I would have gotten on my knees and begged him to put it together with Andrew's bead and save me. But yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Then we go.
It felt insult to injury that everyone gets their beads back except you and Jess, and then you get voted off. And then, do you know what happens to your bead?
I think it ended up being used on Jess come merge, right?
Jess plays it as an idol, and it's successful.
Yes. Yep. That whole bead thing is so unbelievably stupid because I leave the game and I'm like, everyone's like, why did you give up your bead was like an idol? Like, why would you give up your idol? And I'm like, yeah, right. Why would everyone do that? And then whatever. I was against it. I hated how right I was about. So yeah, I'm gonna reiterate this point I made at the beginning. I left the game hating how right I was about everything that day. I was right about the 4. I was right about the individual immunity in both tribes going to tribal. I was right about Trav going home. I was right about just absolutely everything about that entire day, and I was pissed about it.
So you're voted out, but your game isn't over. You head to Redemption. Talk to me about your Redemption experience, because you'll be there for the rest of day 4 and the beginning of day 5.
Yeah, I will be there the rest of the time when I. So I get there. I was the 5th person there. I believe it was.
At this point, Jay West, Jenny, Deborah, Traver there. Nina joined you soon after.
Yeah, Nina was that last one. So I get there. I get the whole little rundown. They don't have a whole lot there. There's some games. There's some puzzles. I see cards. If we were allowed to bring luxury items, our tribe would have had like 5 decks of cards. I would have brought one. Chad would have brought one. Deb would have brought one. Like, and I see these cards there, but they're not normal cards. They're cards that are like this big. So they're usable, but they're like, just like, why? Just give us a deck of cards. And so this is a significant upgrade. And I wanted to just take a moment to be by myself and just let myself feel all the emotion of I'm out of the game, and like let myself like maybe that was, I don't know what it would have been. It was cry, maybe it was just whatever. But I didn't give myself that opportunity because they said you can go take a moment to yourself if you want, but I'm like, no, let's talk about this now, because how do I even explain this story? Yeah, I handed my bead and then didn't have a bead to play. And then I went home. Like, how do I explain that story? Like, that's I explained the whole story. I'm really happy to see Jay West again. I'm really happy to see Deb again. I wasn't really happy to see Deb again once I found out that she just did not like me the whole time. But I find out a lot of information from them. I guess not too much, but I find out that like Jess and Allison know each other from Trav. I find out that that Juan had Deb's bead, like whatever. And then I find out that there's a little triangle puzzle that our tribe handler, like for the Outcasts, Frank, who is an amazing man, love him so much. He's also one of my favorite people that I met there all together. He said that no one has like ever solved this like little triangle puzzle thing or something. Like he hasn't seen anyone solve it. And so he had given them like 2 like correct solutions and stuff. So I think this seems like fun. This seems like a puzzle to pass my time, which everyone knows this is what I like doing when I get bored. I want to focus on a puzzle, but I don't really have time to work on it once I want to start because Nina arrives. And so I wanted to not just be like, oh, I'm just off doing this puzzle while she gets here. I wanted to, show some supports, whatever. And then went after. So I know we'll probably talk about it in a second, but after that, the comeback challenge, the first one, I say I need to get back to camp and do that puzzle. So I sit down to the puzzle, and within 5 minutes, I solved it. And if you solve the puzzle, you get every single comfort/luxury item that has been won before the first immunity challenge. So that's spices, that's like a hammock, that's chairs. And so we get back to camp, and I solve it within 5 minutes out of anger, I guess. And so like we like Frank wasn't even there at that time, and so he yelled. So he comes back around the corner, and we're like, "I solved it." He's like, "No effing way! No, that you did not." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, here it is. It's solved." But yeah, so that was a win that I think I needed, but also I've heard that everyone, an outcast at that moment, really needed. Like we got a bunch of luxury because they had like nothing, and it was just I think it was just that was a really rewarding moment after I had been voted out and after I was so embarrassed. The biggest thing I was feeling above everything, above anger, above sadness, was just embarrassment that I like came to this game expecting to do so good, and I've told all these people to watch me, and I don't know who is watching me because the last thing I did was post, "Hey, watch me on this thing," and then just put my phone down. I don't know who's paying attention, and everyone just watched me just falter and collapse, and now it's like I'm just so embarrassed and I needed that win of solving that puzzle that supposedly like no one's ever solved that Frank has seen. So I was really happy about that.
Talk to me a bit about the really long redemption challenge, because this is a rough one.
It sucked, man. We had a good lead. I did my part. I did not want to roll in the grass, and I was like trying to not do that. There were some tensions in the outcast camp. Jay West and Janai were butting heads a bit. I think Jay West was just a bit like fed up with her a little bit. And when we were deciding what to do, we're like, all right, so the rolling on the ground, like the rolling across, like one of us guys will probably do it, like me, Traver, Jay West. And then she was like, why am I not capable to do that? You're saying that I'm not capable to do this. And we're like, we're not trying to like diminish you and say that you're not capable of doing this. We just she started like yelling at us a bit, and we're like, we're not trying to say that you're not capable. We're just trying to like optimize rolling 30 feet. Like I hope you don't take any like we're not trying to offend you in any way. And it was just this whole thing. And then Trav wanted to be on the fire, but I think he ended up being the key, the door untire and unlocker, and Janai was on the fire. But I don't know. The challenge goes about how you'd imagine it to. We get to the fire, and suddenly, like, I think it was just like windy. The wind probably picked up to. I mean, I didn't have my phone, so I'm estimating. I'm gonna say probably about 350 miles per hour, and every time that we get any semblance of a flame or an ember, the tornado from the Wizard of Oz will come through and just like put it out. And it's a bit frustrating to deal with that. And Janai was honestly killing it with the endurance of scratching this flint and getting stuff, because it's tiring, and she did it a very long time. There was this whole debate about the other team had their coats and stuff that we were explicitly told not to bring, and they're blocking the wind with their like heavy coats that we were told not to bring. So it felt very like that felt pretty unfair. And production was like, it doesn't really matter, you have your shirts. But we're like, that's not the same as this like rain and windproof like coat, like the windbreaker they're using over there, that they're using like a windbreaker. Like that's not really a fair thing. And the challenge goes on for so long. They are literally just giving us anything possible to get this lit. They're like, here's some flammable like wool. Here's here's a torch dipped in like kerosene. Like, please just light this fire. We need to move on with the day. We're so far behind. And there were a couple times when we got some good flames right up on the thing. And Jay West, if you're still watching, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out here. Anytime that we had a flame, you would just push down like a whole thing on it and smother it to death. I think that happened twice. I don't know if I've said anything about it then, but you totally smothered out our fire like twice. But that's okay. It was that is not why we lost. It was just unlucky. It was just who got their fire, whatever. I don't know. It was stupid. We lost. I think that everyone wants to speculate about who they think would have gone back in the game. Like Trav wants to be all like, because we would have had to vote someone in. Like Trav was like, we had a deal that like I told you I was going to vote for you and you were going to vote for me, but there was no chance in a million years that I would ever even consider voting Trav to go back into the game at that point. Like I was like, yeah, like you can vote for me and I'll vote for you 100%. I don't know who he would have voted for, but I was absolutely not voting for him. I could be misremembering, but no, I probably would have voted for like my heart would have wanted to say Jay West because he was a trooper. Like, okay, I want to talk about Jay West for a second. I literally like, if I was voted out first, I would have been like so angry and probably not smiled again the rest of the time I was on the islands. But I don't know how he remained so calm and in good spirits and just constant, like consistent, just positive energy through everything. Like I have so much respect for Jay West through everything. And I wanted to like, it would have got really messy if we had to vote someone back into the game. And I want to say that I would vote for him because he deserved to go back in more than anyone, just period. He deserved to, like, seeing how he handled being voted out first, he should have gone all the way and won the game. I have so much respect for him, but I don't know if I would have voted for him to go in because it would have got messy. Like I would have tried to vote for whoever the least amount of people are going to vote for, but then what if everyone has that idea and then someone randomly goes back into the game that shouldn't? I probably would have. It would have got super messy. But I think that I could have done it. I think I could have come back in if we had won, but we'll never know. And it's honestly better for the morale that of like Outcast that we didn't, because it would have got like messy. And then we got then I solved the puzzle and we got stuff, which was pretty cool.
Talking about the Walmart trip.
The Walmart trip. On Outcasts, we had opportunities to win rewards. Like we'd play a challenge that they just played, and if we could accomplish a certain thing with it in a certain amount of time, then we would get some stuff. And so it was the challenge where you had to do the table maze, like the whatever, and then move the ball up the thing, and we had to run through it a certain amount of time in like 15 or in 30 minutes, and we were so close, but we couldn't get it. So we bargained to like, the reward was that we were each going to get like $5 at Walmart. And hello, one sec.
Dramatic pause right here.
Yeah, sorry. So it was going to be $5 each of us for each of us to go to Walmart. So we bargain and barter, and eventually we talk him into a different challenge to get $2 each at Walmart, and we succeed with that. And then Trav, without consulting us about maybe if this is something we want to do, he's like, double or nothing, a coin flip, let's do it. And we're like, no. This is a Trav decision. We just fought hard. We just fought so hard for this money that we just earned. There's no need to do that. It reminded me of when I was still in the game. Every time that we wanted to barter with production or barter with the other tribe, Aliana would just come forward and be like, this is what we're offering you and this is what we want. So I'm like, that is not what I want. I didn't realize how much adults drink like soda. I was just raised on water. Like I've never liked soda. And I didn't realize people were willing to sell their kids and murder their entire families for soda. But apparently that's just the thing. And now I understand. Like, that's just not how I know. I don't drink soda. And so
I mean, I don't drink soda either. And so, because like my favorite thing about the Walmart trip is Nina just
yeah,
gets the
I'll get
soda
into that.
and
I'll get into that.
yeah.
I'll talk about it. So we go to Walmart, and this, like, I don't think it's possible to understand the feeling of this trip. Lived in the woods for 5 days, and you've experienced everything that each of us have experienced, and we look like a bunch of hobos that haven't showered in like a week. Which, oh wait, that's true, we hadn't. We go, and so we get to Walmart. We each had $2, and there's a little vending machine outside the Walmart that Nina runs over to and is trying to put her $2 in. It was $1 for a can. She wants these two cans. She wants these 2 cans of, like, I think it was Coke or something. Let's just say it was Coke. I don't know if we're gonna get demonetized on the stream if I say. Okay, so she wants to get these 2 things of Coke, and I'm like, no, wait, don't do that. You haven't even entered the store. If we want to pull our money, then that's like all hope that that's gone. I understand you want to use your money for yourself. I'm not mad about that, but just see what's inside the store for your own personal use. And I'm not mad that we walk into the store, the guys go to the bathroom, she doubles back and gets the cans of, like, the 2 cans of Coke. I'm not mad about that. What I'm just mad about is from an optimization standpoint. We walked into the store and there was an entire 2-liter of Coke for like 98 cents or something. It was the same thing for $1. So she could have got 2 liters, and she's like, I want it to be fizzy. I want it to be fresh. But I'm like, okay, then buy 4 liters and then just open one of them the night and then open them the next day. It'll still be fizzy. I wasn't mad that she used the money for herself. She got that money, whatever. It's good for her. Awesome. She can spend it however she likes. But, like, just from a sheer optimization standpoint, that was just irking me so much that, like, why would you just get 2 little cans like this big and not two liters for the same thing if all you want is soda? But we put our money so perfectly to use. We got a bunch of hot dogs. We got a bunch of cheese. We literally took every packet of ketchup and relish and everything that they had in their little station. Like, we just robbed Walmart of everything. And we got so much food. We got loaves of bread, we got buns and everything, just all in this bargain hunting, a total of $12. And then we had to bum like a quarter or like a dime or something from these people that were checking out next to us. So they flicked us like a quarter. It was exactly what we needed. And we go back to camp and we grill out the hot dogs. We put them on sticks, everything classic, like summer camp. I also got a bag of salt and vinegar chips and a little cream pie, a little chocolate cream pie thing, or 2 of them actually. And it was just an awesome experience that we all got to share. This is like the first food we've eaten, and there's literally no way to express how that night was unless you've experienced it, like just how it felt and everything. And then I fell asleep in this hammock, and I wasn't awoken by a grizzly bear or Allison trying to steal the hammock or anything. I fell asleep on the hammock and woke up refreshed for the next day. Still had a cream pie to eat, knowing that we're about to go to our last redemption challenge. And it was just an amazing night that I will not ever forget.
Day 5 that morning, Sam joins you as the last member of Redemption, and you go to the challenge.
So before I talk about the challenge, I have to do it. I have to complain about this. What was the other? It was Anada, and what was the other tribe? Taco? No.
Kanane?
Kanane. Wait, Kanane. Wait. Why did I think it was
Kanane?
Oh, Taka was a Survivor Maryland tribe. My bad. Yeah. Kanane.
all Survivor tribes just start sounding alike, especially in New Era when they always have 2 syllables.
It's just 2 syllables, a consonant vowel, whatever. But yeah, so the Kanene tribe, which is what I was calling it the whole time, even though I knew it wasn't that, but I was just calling it Kanene, like the entire time. They were still playing the game when they were out of the game. Like, we're at Outcast Camp. We have no stakes. One of us is going back in the game, and they're still off in the corner whispering to each other about about strategy, about the game, about whatever. And me, Jay West, and Deb were like, we called him out for it. We're like, yo, if you're talking about information in the game and one of us is about to go back into it, share that with everyone. They'd be like, oh yeah, sorry, I was just saying. And then they just go back to whispering like a minute later, and it's just that like amplified times 1,000 when Sam got there, because her and Trav and Nina, they just wanted, maybe not Nina as much, I don't know, but they just wanted to. They thought they were still playing, I guess. I don't know. I think they thought that we had made the merge, made the final 8. We were about to vote someone for $1 million, and there was a lot of frustration for from the Anata tribe about that. But shoot, I was gonna say something. I don't remember though. Shoot, yeah, wait. So then, yeah, the last challenge. I guess. Oh, right. I know what I was gonna say. I, at this point in time, have not pooped. I've not pooped in the woods.
But then you
And
just ate a bunch of food.
Yes, we ate a bunch of food. So I have peed a bunch. I said this in a confessional. Some people are like pee shy. I'm like not. I'll pee where I will literally pee wherever. Whatever the opposite. What's the opposite of shy? Like I'm like pee outgoing. And like that sounds meaning I don't care. Like I'll walk 5 feet away from Cam and start peeing in the woods. Unlike how Jay West like pooped on our path. Like he's why would he do? It's day 1. We've been here for like 14 hours and he couldn't hold it any longer. He just takes the dump like a foot off the path. And I like what, like there's no need for that. But anyways, I don't know if he's still watching, but I like so I think, okay, I just ate another one of these little cream, like these chocolate cream pie things. I think now might be the time that I have to poop. So I walk off, I walk down the path, and I get to a certain point in the path, and I hear that grows louder and louder, and I get right there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is actually a rattlesnake. So I sprint back, and Trav, he's such a character because he is so like into the game and such a character when it comes to the game. So I'm like, I just heard a rattlesnake. There's just a rattlesnake like 3 feet from me, and I'm 100% confident that that's what it was. And he goes, "Oh well, it's probably gone. You should go back to that spot and poop there again," because he wants me to get taken out of the game or something. Like he's just like, and so I wait 5 minutes, and like we're told that the challenge is going to be in like 30 minutes, whatever. And so I walk back there. I get to the same spot. I hear it again. It starts activating again, and so I sprint back. And I wait another 5 minutes. I go, and it happens again. So I run back, and I'm just like, you know what? Either I go to this challenge, I win, I get a merge feast, and I have to poop then too, or I lose, and I go get to use a toilet. So I'm just not gonna. I'm just gonna hold it. And so we get to the challenge, and I've been saying from the moment that I got there, I'm confident in my ability to win any of these redemption battle back challenges that I'm competing for myself, unless it's a balancing stamina act. I could do the balancing, I could do the stamina. If it is a balancing stamina act, I will lose. So I know that that's what it's going to be. And guess what it was? It was a balancing
stamina, baby.
And so I know that I'm not going to win, but all I can do is try my best. And from the moment it starts, I have a bad grip on it. From the moment it starts, I have a bad grip on it. And so I was fighting demons from very early on in the challenge, just trying to willpower my way through. But it was just not gonna. It just wasn't gonna happen. If I think that I could have gone for longer. I totally could have. I tried to. I was mainly worried about Andrew. I thought that Andrew was my main competitor in this challenge, and Shrav. And then and then when I see Andrew just drop out of nowhere, he goes from a statue to dropping his thing like literally just in a millisecond. Like I think I'm like so relieved and happy because I think, okay, I have a chance to win this challenge. I was also scared about Jay West, and he dropped kind of immediately, and I felt bad. But yeah, it wasn't in the cards for me because I know that every single one of the people in the game on my tribe was scared that I was going to come back in. I know production wanted me to come back in because I was going to. I think I would have been the most interesting player to come back in.
Yeah. So
Really
walk me
do.
through. What would you have done had you re-entered the game?
Again, it comes down to that like adaptability aspect because I could go in and I could shun my tribe. Sorry. I could go in and I could shun my tribe. I could go in and just instantly be like, I'm jumping ship. I'm on purple now. I'm on purple. Screw you guys. Or I could like pretend to play the middle for a bit. It would be incredibly hard for me to trust Chad and all of them again. And I know they're terrified when they come back in, but it was I don't know. It was like I don't know. It's hard to say what I would have done. I think that I would have been able to. I would have given out all the information that I had about who knew who, and let that shake up things, and then just try to maybe hide a little bit. I would have had an idol if I'd gone back in, because like we gave Nina an idol when she won. Because if anyone that still had their bead could give it to whoever was going back in, and I didn't have my bead. Andrew didn't have his, I don't think.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Deb didn't have hers.
Jay
West
Sam, Jay West, and Jenny all had theirs.
Yeah. And that's another thing. When everyone was talking strategy and stuff, what was really pissing off, I think Jay West especially, was that Trav was talking about the like having his bead, whatever, and then we get back from the first chance to get back into the game, and then suddenly he starts saying he doesn't have it because I guess he handed it to Rob. Which like how are you gonna be preaching this and then whatever? But I would have had an idol going back in the game. I think I would have been able to adapt to who needed to hear what, to like cause chaos and hide. Because apparently I really learned from myself in this game that I'm not scared. I will not shy away from causing chaos if it is to survive and I get put in a pressure situation like that. But yeah.
Did you use the bathroom after you got voted out? After the redemption challenge?
I did. I took my I took my sweet time with it. I think I tried for a bit, and then so I didn't like pace myself eating food again at all when I got out. I literally had like 3 bowls of spaghetti, like 3 bowls of salad, and I was like, I'm gonna regret that. That's gonna suck. And it took me a little while to actually get into normal routine. It's kind of hard to. It was like it just took me a couple days for it to like start like working properly. This is all I'll say on the matter because I've talked about my excretion.
Well, beyond that, how was the post game and watching the rest of the game unfold?
Frustrating. It's so weird and it's so awful feeling to be seeing the merge feast happening right outside and to be watching the challenges that I think I'd do good in or I think I would do whatever. And this wave of embarrassment came back and swarms me again, seeing that. I was everyone was like kind of in good spirits and like kind of happy to be done, whatever. But it took me a couple days to like accept that I was out and that I lost and that I'm embarrassed still. And honestly, I'm still embarrassed about it. I didn't go on my phone I tried to do it as long as possible, but I went on it pretty soon, but I didn't respond to anyone, like anyone that texted me good luck or responded to my post that said I was going to be playing. I just didn't even open them or look at them. I looked at them, but I didn't open them. And then eventually I just opened all of them and didn't respond because I still have this feeling of embarrassment that I know I could have done better and I should have done better. And it's just like, I don't know. But I honestly, I'm so when I'm out, I get to play in all the games with all the people that have been putting on this whole production and like this whole thing that's been going on. I get to meet all of them, and I didn't know any of them like before, obviously. And I get to like actually build these bonds and relationships and feel like part of a family. Reelfoot was so incredibly welcoming, and I never like these are people that have known each other and have been working together for like a decade, like 10 years. That's half of my entire life. Like I was 10 when a lot of these people knew each other already, and I'd never that doesn't there's obviously bits and pieces where it shows when they reference stuff that's happened in the past, but I never felt excluded as someone that's entering a 10-year-old friend group. I should rephrase, someone that's entering a friend group that is 10 years old.
Good catch.
So I'm so grateful for that, and honestly, that is what I take away from that experience. Is I wouldn't have felt like the family. I could have lasted 8 days and been in the final two, and then like, I entered a house. I either win or lose. I enter the house, and I'm like, who are all these people? I don't know them. They've been here watching me. I don't know them at all. So getting to meet friends and just like really feel a part of the Reelfoot family is what makes getting out when I did so worth it and amazing.
I feel like I've had a similar experience in terms of in-game and post-game with when I played Survival Challenge. I go out 17th. I'll go out before the swap, and I just feel miserable. I feel like I have my chance and I blew it. And really, for me, the post-game was the highlight of the experience. Was being with all these cool people who love Survivor, hanging out with them. That is how I remember my Survival Challenge experience, not the game itself, but the post-game experience that kind of shaped the rest of it.
Yeah, 100%. Like that. Like it's like everyone like. I just love being put in an environment because Survivor has been my biggest passion my whole life. I'm 10 years old and I'm making my username on 8 Ball Pool Survivor fan like 1 2 3, and I'm like playing it and like it's pool, but I'm imagining it as a blood versus water Survivor season where I'm like, okay, the blues are family, but the striped blue one just went out, so now it's like down to 3, blah blah blah. And I view like that's just always how my whole life has been framed. Like that's how I view things. This is my passion, something I care so deeply about. And I'm around people that care just enough to take a week out of their busy, like I'm saying grown up because I'm 20, but like grown up lives to come do this, put together this thing. And it's like I can reference some niche thing from like season 5 of like the real show, just some episode, and people there get it, and it's like there's no way to replicate the feeling of that, and to feel that like just immersed in my entire life's interest. Like there's no way to say it or to put it.
So looking back at this experience on a whole, I know you're not going to be late dinner because I'm going to just ask you a million more questions, but
No, I'm here for
we're getting
long.
close to that. Don't worry.
I'm in no rush, I promise.
Looking back on your experience, what's your takeaway been?
From a game perspective, I've talked to Trav about this a lot, about how I need to come into a game. I can't be like this big athletic guy, but also be good at solving puzzles and also be, cracking this puzzle that no one else can get. Like with the Cryptex thing, like going into a future game, I need to choose. Oh, I'm the big dumb strong guy. La la la. Let's lift up the crates. Let's move them. Let's run. Rah. Like I need to kind of lean into that more rather than like I need to like kind of suppress what I want to do if I want to succeed more in games, and I don't want to just reject because like I've had success doing like being me, but I definitely have a new awareness of how like I can take on these games and be better at them, but also beyond the game, like I truly feel like a part of this family. Like I know that I never use Facebook like ever. at all.
Sorry.
We're doing this so late. But like, because like I want to do this the whole time. I just don't go on Facebook. So like I see like, and I'm not as active in like these group chats and
And I
stuff.
will
And
say, when we met in Los Angeles, you're like, "What's your Instagram account?" I'm like, "I don't have one. I do have an Instagram account now. I have gotten better."
woo! But yeah, no. So like I'm not the most active in like these group chats that are always texting or like the Facebook page. I don't really understand how Facebook groups work entirely, but I I still just feel a part of this family. Like I see them advertising season 14 and I think, wow, there's someone that's just like me a year ago looking at this right now and can't wait to join this thing that I'm now a part of. I've played in it. I know all these people. I built these relationships that maybe I'll see them in other games and stuff. And maybe I'll see them because like LRGs in general is such a tight community of you start to recognize people and you start to just all share this passion. And it's like, I mean, I touched on it earlier. There's no way to explain to someone who hasn't experienced an entire life of being named after a Survivor player, being like just kind of forced into watching it as a kid, then developing just like this obsession, which turned into just a love, and then getting to play it out and meet people that feel the same way and being able to not be scared to like geek out about it because other people are the same way. It's a family, and I'm just honored to like be a part of the Reelfoot family now. Like that's what I take away from it. Like I'm still in contact with a lot of people I met and like talking to them, and just like it's conversations I wouldn't have had and people I wouldn't have met if I didn't come out here and sleep in the woods for 5 days and not poop.
Is there anything else about your experience you want to talk about that maybe we haven't touched upon?
I don't know. I know that I'm gonna say no, and then we're gonna get off the call, and I'm gonna be eating this pizza that's been sitting here since I went on mute, and then I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I didn't talk about that. But
well, if you ever need a part 2, let me know. We can make it happen. But I do have I have 10 or so final questions for you. All if you're ready for them.
Yeah.
So, as one of the co-hosts of Survivor Maryland, what's one thing from Reelfoot you think that would translate well to Survivor Maryland? It could be a challenge, could be a twist, could be you fly Amos down. I don't know. Like, what's one thing you think you could take away from Reelfoot and put in Maryland?
So honestly, the inspiration of like challenges and stuff, when I hosted like a full day long game myself. It was like a 12 hour long game, and I took a lot of challenge inspiration from Reelfoot, like that reward challenge where we had to run, get the balls, throw them, do the puzzle. I did that format. Like I made my own like puzzles and stuff. I was like painting like my full puzzles. It also gave me inspiration about like production value and stuff of like what I can do. Like I can get a mat and paint it. I actually bought the snuffer because it's a turtle shell, perfect for Survivor Maryland because like the Terps, whatever. I bought the snuffer from Reelfoot. I bought the mats from Reelfoot, the tribe mats. So I used them in my 1 day game. I just recycled them. And just like, I like the bead idea. That's like a specific idea that could be implemented at some point, potentially. But I don't know. It's just, I got to see new ways of how people love the game and love producing the game that can inspire me to replicate certain aspects of it.
What's the biggest difference from playing a 90-day Survivor game to a 8-day Survivor game?
It was 100 days, I will say. But
100 days. Okay, sorry. Like semester is 3 months and change.
Yeah. What I will say is the biggest difference is that when I'm playing at school, I'm doing homework, I'm going to class, I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm also playing this game, and I'm dedicating so much time to this game, but I have all these other things on my mind and all these other things to worry about. Yeah, it moves like at a slower pace than an 8-day game, but when you're there in the 8-day game, you've melted away from reality. You don't have your phone. You don't know what's going on in the outside world. You are just there to play the game of Survivor. You're there to build a camp, to survive, to play challenges, and to vote people out. And there's nothing else going on that you can focus on. So in a way, that's easier, in my opinion, because it's all you can do and all you can think about. But in ways, it's also harder. Like, there's like you literally, everyone else is also just thinking about the game. So maybe their games are sharper and better because they don't have other stuff going on. Like, there are times in Survivor Maryland when like people were flustered about stuff outside of the game, and I take that emotion that they're feeling and kind of keep nudging them into it a bit so they're not thinking clearly, and then I pull stuff off. Like, and that's not something you can do as much in just an 8-day game where you're just living out there and stuff.
If you can go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice before you went and played Reelfoot, what would you tell yourself?
Don't pick up the Cryptex. Don't go near it. Walk in the back of the pack. Learn to walk slower. Break your shin before you go out there, so you have to walk slower. Maybe twist your ankle in the first challenge. Trust me, and I don't give myself any other context. Find a way to twist your ankle, and then you won't be walking in the front of the pack. You won't pick up the thing first. You won't have everyone immediately cast you aside in their mind as someone they want to trust. And I know I've talked to like Aliana was like, yeah, just the way you spoke and the way you smiled was always just like you were like lying and being deceitful and stuff. But I was just I never told a lie in the game. I honestly am very confident that if I had needed to tell a lie in the game, they wouldn't have known. I'm very confident in my lying ability, but I only got to tell the truth. But I would tell myself to just, twist an ankle or whatever. Oh, wait, sorry. I was going off a tangent. Yeah. So I am going to, I was going to throw a little shade towards someone, but I don't want to be mean. But
Juan will confirm. He says, yeah, I don't know why they always thought you were lying. I never thought you were lying. I knew you weren't.
So who's still watching? Who's still on this?
Juan and someone else. So the Brave Soul is making it 2 hours and 26 minutes in for third place of the season time run.
I hope you're entertained, Juan, and I hope Aliana is not the other person, because I might throw a little shade. Aliana's been someone postseason that anytime I've been trying to talk about the game or talk about anything, she's been like only been like on her high, like, oh no, like that was never gonna work because I had the full loop. Just like refusal to admit that anyone could have had a thought that was inferior to hers. Like if I would say anything, it'd be like, oh yeah, but that was never gonna work because this, and I was doing this and this and this. Like your game was not perfect. I'm sorry, it was not, and there were things that I didn't do horrendously. Honestly, it was just a little personal irritation because I don't think I'm the only one that shares the sentiment that like anything I've said about the game has just been immediately shut down. And I'm like, okay, that's just been something that I haven't liked dealing with post game. I'm sorry to throw that shade, but I was talking about like something about in the game and it just reminded me, it came to my mind. So sorry.
Do you prefer swaps or no swaps?
Swaps. Easy swaps.
Should every Survivor style game have redemption?
For games like this, yes, absolutely. 100%, because, at the end of the day, you're trying to create a show, you're trying to create like whatever, but you're trying to make an experience for the people that are coming out and playing, the people that are giving 8 days, like people that are casting aside everything in their life for an entire week, get voted out first. And I understand, I love that they didn't have anyone go home the first 2 days for that. But like you get voted out first and then then you're just out. Like, I think that everyone for like a week-long game and stuff deserves a chance to come back in. I know, like, for my one-day games that I've hosted, because I've hosted a couple of them at this point, I would never not put a battle back, because people are coming out here planning to spend their whole day, and they hang around and stuff for a whole day, that they should get a chance to maybe have another shot, you know?
You know, the battle back was the only reason why my brother stayed in the game for Survivor Los Angeles.
That's the only reason why what he stayed? Like,
Chris would have left if Chris would have been asked if it voted out if I couldn't get back in the game. And so when he learned that a second chance, he was like, I have to win now. There's no easy way out. He was so mad at me.
Did he end up winning the whole thing?
Chris won, yeah.
All right, that's what I thought. Wasn't he like not? I feel like the final three, one of them was just like, I don't know, and I'm just kind of here.
Well, I mean, so you have Chris, Elliot, and Justin, and Elliot's like big passionate survival fan, but Justin and Chris did not have that background. So I think Justin was more just like, I'm here.
Yeah, he like didn't care about being there at all. Like, don't you know what I would do to be in your shoes right now? And you're just like,
I know, right? It's like, please, I just want to get to the end.
I got a good time. I threw some things. I think I fired a slingshot at some point. Like,
oh, for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that sucks. That was awful.
What was your favorite challenge?
Try to think of the ones I played. Sumo at Sea was fun, but I only did it once, and I honestly spent most of the time in fear trying to calculate the numbers of what would happen for me to face Rob and be humiliated. Okay, I liked that first reward challenge that we did, but I don't know. I'm trying to think now. Like, you know, I'm gonna go with that one because it was so hype. The snake challenge was too quick for it to be my favorite.
What merge challenge do you think you would have done best in?
The puzzle one, Final Five, that Nino one. I would have killed that. I ran through it after they left and did it. I did the entire challenge in like 30 seconds.
What was the favorite camp life moment for you?
Talking to Juan, and laughing with him at the fire after he got attacked by a pride of lions.
Here's a comment from a viewer. Duckman asks, Colby, you're my fave. How difficult was it being the youngest on the cast?
So it's something that like I talked about earlier in this that like I play into a bit. It's not something that I'm not used to. When I played Rock Creek, there was people double my age that I was playing with, and it was fine. And honestly, I don't think people take it into consideration too much. It's just like there is an aspect of these people have so much more life experience than me. Like they've lived a lot longer than I have. Like, and I'm still can relate to them. Like Jay West, like he just turned 34. Like he was 33 when we were playing together, and he was like one of my closest friends out there. Like I think Andrew was 25. Like Juan was also, I think 25, 26. So there wasn't too much age difference there, but these people have full jobs, they have full lives and stuff and they're talking about that, bonding about stuff, talking about their like kids, like, and then that's just not something that I can like contribute to in a way that's relatable. I can just be asking questions and stuff, but I can't form that bond of like, oh yeah, like I remember when my kid came home from school and having a bad day. Yeah. But it's something that I don't think is as big of a struggle or an issue as it would seem like it is if I adapt to it right, which I think I can. Also, thank you for me being your fave. Woo.
So, in retrospect, who should you have shared the jar of candy with?
I don't think that really had too much of an impact because there were 3 people that wanted it and the rest of the tribe didn't. The rest of the tribe said, no, I don't want that. And 3 people said, yes, I would like some. So it was easy to share it with them. And then I got it too. If someone else had wanted it, then I would have had to so nobly be like, oh, you can have my candy but I don't know. So
Did you enjoy Did you enjoy the shout out from Allison at Final Travel Council, being as for one of her big things is I'm the last person with the jar of candy out here.
Yeah. So, yeah, she said she was the last person that wanted the hammock and the last person that got to eat the candy. And you know what? Good for her. Whatever. I ate more candy out there in 2 days than I have eaten in probably the last like year or two combined, because I was just eating it before every challenge, before everything. I was like just scooping it, but like eating it by the scoop. And yeah, I was chowing down on a lot of candy, and it actually felt like my teeth were about to like disintegrate if the wind blew too hard and just turned to dust. Or like if I had one more bite, then they were just about to like get like when Thanos snapped, just like.
So post-game activities was use the bathroom and then brush your teeth.
Yeah, I brushed my teeth for like 8 minutes when I got out of there. I was just like scrubbing, going at it.
Who do you wish you had a chance to work with but didn't have an opportunity to do so?
See, I could say Trav because, you know, Rob worked with him in the first round, and then Trav went out and he won the whole thing. I do wish that.
So you're like, I want Trav to be my fall guy. It sets you up perfectly for a win.
Yeah, exactly. Because really, that's all it took. Rob is just like Trav's in front of him, so it's perfect. All he needs is Trav in front of him, and then he didn't have to do anything else. It's like Rob is a very deserving winner. Good work. That's awesome. Who like someone on purple, or could it be someone on orange? Because
it can be anyone from your tribe.
Oh, from my tribe.
Sorry, anyone from the entire game. Anyone from the entire game.
I don't know. I guess I mean, maybe like Brandon or Rob, to be honest. But not Rob, because we would have been like, oh, they're blah blah blah. Maybe Brandon. Even though like yeah, Brandon. I'll say Brandon. Why not?
Besides yourself, who would you like to see come back and play another season of Reelfoot?
Who would I like to see come back? Andrew said if he comes back, he's going to be on absolute demon time and emotionally dominate everyone ferociously. But I would like to see Jay West come back and get another chance.
I haven't been tallying people's votes, but I think you are winning for the person people like to see come back.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I was robbed, so I believe it. But that's awesome. I'm glad that people think that. I definitely think that I should come back. I think that I really think that I could have gone like all the way if I just didn't happen to have what happened happen.
So I think that's all the questions I have. Anything else you want to talk about or plug as we wrap up here?
I don't know. I had a very fun time. I would love for them to call me and have me back, but I think they're gonna. If they do, I think I'd probably be 2 returner seasons from now that I would get asked. But if they ask me, I will shove everything in my life away to come back and play. Watch the season of Survivor Maryland I host on YouTube in probably like 10 or 12 years.
It'll be a fun time capsule when we get there.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. Spoil me. Will we have a season of Survivor Maryland? I know it's not going to be in order. Are we going to see one air later this year or sometime next year? Maybe. Never.
Maybe. Supposedly season 12 was going to air like this summer, but I guess it didn't. I don't know.
It's still summer.
It is still summer. They posted like the trailer for it, but maybe just the trailer exists. I literally have no idea. But I'm going to try my absolute hardest to get it done, because I know the second I graduate college, I will never touch it again because I will be too busy. I'm already honestly too busy. to even host, but I'm gonna figure it out because that's what I do.
Well, Colby, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me all about your game, your experience at Reelfoot. I'm hoping that as you continue the process of the game, the embarrassment is not the defining aspect. I don't think it is, because it sounds like there's a lot of other pauses from the experience.
Yeah, no, I think that the embarrassment is something that is going to be there to stay, but I can turn it into something to learn from, more so. But that's definitely not the defining thing about my experience. It would be just the time, like thereafter, the like going there, meeting people, being more connected to this community, because honestly, it's a complete different community than like the West Coast games. Like playing LA, there's no one that overlaps pretty much. Like playing 1-day games, there's really not much overlap either. But just hearing people talk about like, oh, like Outlast, I want to try that one, or oh, New York, I want to try that one, and being like, it's just a thing. It's just a community that like I would love to play in New York next, actually, because I've heard it's like just a weekend.
Yeah, like 3 days.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Well, thank you so much, Colby. Thank you, everyone, especially who's still on at 2 hours 40 minutes. It's been a blast. This is one of many Surviving Reelfoot First Fire deep dive coverage, and there are more interviews to come. We have, I think, 4 people left in the season to talk to, maybe 3, I think, at this point. On Saturday, I'll be talking to Isaiah. On next Monday, I'll be talking to Sam, and then Deborah will round out the season. Get excited.
Thank you so much for having me. This was an amazing time answering questions and reliving this. They're great questions that really got me yapping. So I apologize. This I was filming confessionals in Reelfoot and in Survivor Maryland. Like literally, they'd have their schedule and they would double or triple book me whenever it was my turn to give a confessional for Survivor Maryland, because they knew that I would talk for like an hour and a half.
Well, promise me that in your Reelfoot confessionals you do a Chad impression.
I don't know if I did. I don't know.
But okay, I mean, because that was my favorite part of this entire interview. Was your Chad impersonation? It was on point.
I definitely gave it at some point while I was. It's totally in there. Like especially when I'm like relaying. When I'm at Outcast Camp talking about my time, I definitely gave a Chad impression.
Perfect.
Wait, how do I rank with the length of this?
So in terms of length, you are in 3rd place, unfortunately. Rob beat you by 9 minutes, and that's okay.
I probably got 9 more minutes of content in. Nah, whatever, we're done.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Colby, and have a great rest of your evening.
Bye, everybody.